All right, folks, this is going to be a live Oklahoma weather alert here just before 6 p.m. on this Tuesday evening. William Cole here in the Forecast Center. And as we've been talking about, as we've gone through the afternoon, the risk of some tornadic activity is possible in western Oklahoma. We have a tornado watch in effect, and we have a brand new tornado warning for portions of southwestern Oklahoma. And again, we have basically two tornadic supercells. They are now approaching western Oklahoma. And in fact, for our friends in Beckham, Greer, and Harmon County, there's a brand new tornado warning now in effect. This is until 6:15 this evening. So this is a storm right here. It's currently moving out of the Texas Panhandle. Our storm trackers are on it. We're going to take a look at their video, also talk to them live here in just a second. But again, you can see the hook right there. And again, we've got at least fairly strong indications of rotation and again, some possible tornadic activity with this storm. So again, I just want to reiterate, if you live in Beckham, Greer, and northern Harmon County, this is a brand new tornado warning until 6:15 this evening. Tornadoes today, they could be medium strength, they could be strong tornadoes, and they could stay on the ground for a while. So you want to make sure you are taking your tornado precautions with these storms. Do not play around with these storms this evening. So let's go take a closer look at this. And then again, like I said, we'll also talk to our team of trackers coming up here in just a second as well. But let's go and zoom in on this storm. Again, our brand new tornado warning here, Beckham, Harmon, and also portions of Greer County. Again, primarily Beckham County. Again, this is in effect until 6:15 this evening. It does include Eric. So basically right there from Eric, locations to the south. This is going to be south of Texola and south of I-40 as well. Let's go and take a look at our spin rate product here. And as we do that, the area of spin, where you're seeing kind of that bright blue, it's just now about to cross the Oklahoma-Texas border into portions of really, we'll call this far northern Harmon and far southern Beckham County. But again, we see the areas of red and green coming together right there. Again, that's where we have that area of spin. Again, this is a couplet. And again, it's not super tight right now, but this is a little bit tighter probably 10 minutes ago. And these supercells will continue to kind of cycle up and cycle down this evening. There's no immediate hometowns right now currently in the path of this. But again, this will continue to come on into portions of Beckham County. So for our friends out there in rural portions of Beckham County, you've got to take your tornado precautions right now. Again, there is a possibility as we go through the evening of some strong tornadoes. Don't play around with these storms today at all. So again, tornado warning in effect with that storm right there. Now, what I want to do, I want to go and pull our team of trackers on the live line. Mike and Jesse, they're on this storm. Right now, they're in a lot of heavy precipitation there. But Mike, you're on the live line here with us. And go ahead and tell us again where you are and kind of tell us what you're seeing now in this new tornado warning out there.
Yes, William. We just had Eric, Oklahoma right now. We're running on the north side of the storm right now, trying to get in a good position. But one thing we're seeing already, just on the northern side of the storm, we're watching the mesoscan as well, the mesoscan radar. And the mesoscan puts a little bit of hail towards south. So even on the north side of the storm, we're getting diamond C-size hail right now that, hitting trucks and bouncing across the roadway here. And it's fairly intense here. Rainfall rate has kind of dropped, but we've actually picked up on the intensity of hail. But we're watching the storm, we're kind of looking back into it right now, and we're not seeing anything yet, but we're really concerned just because, it's heading towards the Thayer and Elk City area, that those are kind of major populous areas in western Oklahoma here. And if you're in Eric, Thayer, Eric, you're going to be getting some pretty decent rain and hail here right now, actually. We're passing through the Eric area.
Hey, Mike, Russ, let me tell you this. Hey, Mike, let me just tell you this just real quick. We're getting a report of 4-inch hail now coming in with this storm, and this easily could be baseball-size hail now coming in with this storm. So you guys are just kind of north of it up there on I-40. Now, if I was you guys, I would stay in Eric. I wouldn't go any further to the east. I would stay in Eric. Again, the main area of spin is going to be down to your south. But again, we're getting reports of some 4-inch hail. That's going to be baseball-size hail with this storm, folks. So again, these storms, again, even outside of that tornado potential here, again, the extremely, almost what you would call giant hail, it's quite possible. In fact, it's happening with this storm here. And again, we're seeing kind of that smattering of black there. There's going to be say it again, baseball-size hail possible with this storm, again, coming right on in there to Beckham County. So again, Mike, he's right there on I-40. We're looking at their live feed. Again, the main area of concern, the main area of rotation there It's going to be just south of where he is. But Mike, if I was you guys, I would pretty much stay where you are. And again, I would kind of shoot back down to the south, with your video if possible. And again, that way we can kind of see what happens as it's coming up into your area. But again, right now, I just want to reiterate one more time that again, tornado warning in effect here. This is going to be for Beckham, Greer, and portions of northern Harmon County. The main area of concern, the main area of spin here that again, we're tracking carefully, it's right back in here. So here's the hook. You see the hook right back in here coming around. This is the large hail core up in here. Again, baseball size hail possible here. And again, in general, that's going to be tracking into portions of Beckham County and may try and graze far northern Harmon County. Again, these are fairly rural communities out through here. But even for our friends in Eric, again, there's definitely an opportunity again for some of that large hail to come on into the Eric area. Again, you're looking at Mike Russ's video there on the right-hand side of your screen. I want to go and take a look at velocities again here. And as we do that, it's still a fairly broad area of spin. And again, that's not to say that there's not a tornado on the ground, but again, it's a broad area of spin. A lot of times when we're looking at what we call the red and green mode here, the wind flow within the storms, we like to see these get a little bit tighter. And again, sometimes that's when we get a better indication that there could be some type of tornadic activity. However, today, again, with all the dynamics in place, especially over the next couple hours or so, again, like I said, tornadoes, even some strong tornadoes could be possible. So do not take these storms here lightly out in western Oklahoma. I know in Oklahoma, sometimes we get tornado warnings. We're out on our porch looking, seeing what's going on. Today is not the day. Of course, that's never good to do, but today is not the day to do that. Take your immediate tornado precautions. Go get safe, get your family safe, get your pet safe. Again, do what you need to do. But again, this is a fairly significant broad area of rotation. This is a fairly intense mesocyclone. And what I mean by that is even though the area of spin is fairly large, it's not super tight, we're getting high velocities wrapping around this. We have high velocity spin here. And again, let's go and take a look at our mesocyclone rate product here. And we'll go and see what we're pulling up on that. This is a computer-derived product. And again, we're seeing, it's kind of hard to see, but that blue going to green right there, again, that's a fairly good indication that, radar's locking on to some at least fairly high velocity spin, and that could be a possible tornado there. And again, that's basically tracking right on into portions of Beckham County. So again, folks, you've got to get safe. You've got to be taking your tornado precautions. Again, today is not the day, again, to really mess around with these storms. You've got to be taking those, again, immediate tornado precautions. So again, brand new tornado warning also to the north on our northern storm. Let's go and take a look at this. Again, we've got those two tornado warned storms moving into Oklahoma. So let's go and back this on out here. And again, our north storm, this is a brand new tornado warning. This is going to be up here in Roger Mills County. Let's go and take a look at this as well. And we've got our tracker, Trey Smith. He's on that storm. And we'll be checking in with his video and talking with him here in just a second. But again, brand new tornado warning. This is for Roger Mills County until 6:45 this evening. So again, we've got two tornado warnings now in effect. Both of these for western Oklahoma. And again, both of these storms, again, could be producing tornadic activity right now. And again, there is an opportunity, again, for a medium-sized tornado with this activity. So again, just to reiterate one more time, again, two tornado warnings currently in effect for Oklahoma. Again, we've got the southern storm, that's tornado warned. And again, this is going to be for Beckham, Harmon, and Greer County. You folks down in that part of the state, tornado warning there. And then we've got a brand new tornado warning. This is a beast of a supercell, this northern storm. I think this has probably produced a medium-sized tornado, again, earlier in the afternoon. And again, that's tracking into portions of Roger Mills County. So let's go and zoom in on Roger Mills County, again, with our new tornado warning that was just issued. And again, that's in effect, again, until 6:45 this evening. We'll take a look at Trey Smith's live video momentarily as well. But from Mackey down through Raiden, again, you folks, heads up. Again, this is, you need to immediately be taking your tornado precautions. The area of spin, basically just now crossing the Oklahoma-Texas border, Raiden, Dempsey, and Mackey, even back over through Cheyenne, Highway 283. Again, immediate heads up, tornado warning in effect there. Hey, Trey Smith, are you on the live line with us? Okay, we're going to get Trey on the live line here momentarily. Mike? Okay, hey Trey, so let's go take a look at your video. So you're dropping south there on Highway 283. You're basically kind of on the fringe of the tornado warning there. Go and tell us what you're seeing and give us an update on that storm as well.
Right now I'm still trying to make my way south. I'm a little bit south of Cheyenne at the moment, but I'm looking back off to my west and I really don't see anything right now. I'm going to wait until I can get a little bit closer and I can get you a better update on that.
Okay, Trey, really appreciate that update. Again, there's Trey's video, and again, he's basically now approaching the Cheyenne area there in 283. So again, we've got storm trackers on both of these storms, and again, we're kind of talking with both of them. But again, there's the look from Trey from his shot. But again, that storm, you know, this is a mean storm. Both of these storms are mean, but this storm here, that again is now going to be approaching portions of Roger Mills County. Like I said, I think earlier, especially out there near Wellington, Texas, this one may have produced at least a medium-sized tornado again earlier today. And again, so that's continuing to push into portions of western Oklahoma. But again, from Raiden all the way back over through Mackey and even Cheyenne, you folks all in that area out there in Roger Mills County, again, immediate tornado precautions. Again, these storms do not play around with these storms at all today. So again, there's Trey's live video. Again, we're looking at that storm as it gets just a little bit closer there to that hook. Again, we're going to check back in with him. Let's go back down to our southern storm. And hey, Mike, Russ, are you still on the live line with us? Okay, Mike, hey, go ahead and give us an update on the southern storm. We're still looking at that. It looks like that area of spin. Let me go take a look at this. It looks like that area of spin on that southern storm, man, I tell you what, it's really cranking back up here. And that's going to be getting fairly close. It's going to be south of Eric. It's going to be getting close to Highway 30, State Highway 30. We're getting some strong indications here on radar that one is really spinning back up. But Mike, go ahead and give us an update on that storm. I know you guys are on it. And again, tell us what you guys are seeing down there.
Again, we're on I-40 at the moment. We're still getting, on the very northern tip of the storm, we're still getting dime and pea-sized hail, which is unheard of that far north of the what would be the circulation area. But right now we're seeing it's going to be a very heavy rainfall maker. That is for sure, William. And we're definitely seeing some features that are piquing our interest. However, we're still trying to get into a little better position and be able to get you guys exactly what's going on and let you see what's going on in that area of rotation right now.
Okay, and I just want to bring everyone up to date again with what's going on. So we're tracking 2 tornado warned storms. We have storm trackers on both of these storms. But again, this is important now for our friends in western Oklahoma. We just want to keep relaying this information. Again, tornado warning in effect. Again, 2 tornado warned storms, 1 tornado warning for Beckham, portions of far western Greer, far northern Harmon County. Tornado warning here, tornadic supercell. You see the hook right there. In general, that's going to be lifting up towards I-40 there into portions of Beckham County. Then we have a secondary tornado warned storm. This one is coming into portions of Roger Mills County. There's our other storm tracker, Trey Smith. Again, both of our storm trackers have live video. We'll be talking to them and looking at that. But again, both of these storms, at least we're getting fairly strong indications here on radar that again, they are trying to produce some type of tornadic activity. Again, the storm to the north, I think for sure it already has. We've had reports out there in the Texas Panhandle. But again, both of these storms mean business. And again, for western Oklahoma, again, with this tornado watch currently in effect until 10 p.m. this evening, keep in mind this is what we call a PDS watch, or a particularly dangerous situation, because it's also not just the threat of the tornadic activity. That's already, pretty much bad enough as it is, but we also may have some baseball size hail. And in fact, we're getting some indications of some extremely large hail with these storms as well. And again, keep in mind, baseball size hail can do significant damage. It can blow out windows as well. So not a good situation, again, as these storms now are moving in to portions of western Oklahoma. So again, there's Mike and Jesse's video. We're still looking kind of there at the I-40 corridor. And again, we're going to check back in with them coming up here in just a second. But what I want to do, I want to go back to our north storm here. And again, we're just going to kind of play hopscotch here back and forth between the storms. Again, just continue to pass on information to you folks at home as well. And again, if we've got Trey Smith on the line, Trey, I see you're getting closer to Cheyenne on that northern storm. But again, tornado warning continues there from Raiden all the way up through Mackey, Cheyenne, even Roll. You folks there across portions of western and central Roger Mills County. Again, this storm definitely means business. This is not one to take lightly at all. And again, it looks like the area of spin in this one, we've still got this very broad mesocyclone. And in fact, I think really the area that's most concerning, where the tornado, if it is on the ground, most likely would be basically right there at the Oklahoma-Texas border. So we've got this broad mesocyclone. You see this broad area of spin, but you see this bright green, bright red. This is most likely on the ground right there. And I think this has been producing kind of a hopscotch on and off tornado as we've gone throughout the day out in the eastern Texas Panhandle. That area of spin right there, that's going to be pushing into portions of Roger Mills County fairly quickly here. So with that being said, Trey Smith, you're still on the live line with us here. Trey, go ahead and tell us again where you are. It looks like you're still there on Highway 283, but go ahead and give us a live update from what you're seeing on that storm.
Yeah, I just passed a sign and said I'm about 5 miles north of Cheyenne still on 283. Still not able to really clearly see anything just due to the landscape out here. But I will definitely let you know what I see when I get a good shot at this.
Trey, it's still going to be back to your west. This is a big mesocyclone, I can tell you that. But it looks to me like this one here is most likely still on the ground. We've got a fairly decent area of gate to gate. It's basically right now at the Oklahoma-Texas border. It's right at the Oklahoma-Texas border. Big mesocyclone here, but this little area right here, this is what we're concerned about right there. And it looks like it's maybe come down just a notch, but on days like today, if they come down a notch, go up a notch, it really doesn't matter because this is a very real tornado threat. And again, some of these tornadoes today could be medium strength, medium size, strong tornadoes. And again, I think this has kind of been a hopscotch tornado there across portions of the eastern Texas Panhandle. And again, this area of spin, again, coming right on in. This is Beckham County here again. And again, basically from Radin all the way back over through Cheyenne. You folks all out there in that area, again, big tornado warning there. And again, you need to be taking your immediate tornado precautions again with this storm. So again, we've got 2 tornado warned storms, 2 supercells here moving in out of the Texas Panhandle into portions of really western and southwestern Oklahoma. What I want to do, I want to go back down to our southern storm here. Again, tornado warning continues down here. This is primarily going to be in Beckham County now. And again, another big area of spin down here as we take a look at velocities, another fairly large mesocyclone here. And I want to go back to Mike and Jesse's live video. They're still on this storm. And guys, go ahead and give us an update, Mike, if you're on the live line, and tell us what you guys are seeing with this storm down there in Beckham County.
Yes, William. We are on the storm right now. We're just south of Sayre. We're getting into a position where we can kind of look back into the storm right now. And William, we're still seeing very heavy rain off to our east or west right now. Eric, you're probably getting pummeled with hail right now. And this storm is very intense. We're looking at it. It's still got a lot of motion to it. It's still a very intense storm. I don't see it at this point right now, William. But these things are living, breathing things. So they will densify and then re-intensify. But right now, we're trying to get into a good spot where we can kind of feed back into this thing. But again, we're still seeing a lot of motion to it. It's definitely pulling a lot of moisture up.
Hey, Mike, Russ. Hey, let me tell you this as well. So this is our mesocyclone rate product here. Whenever you're seeing those greens going to yellow, they go from yellow to orange. There's not very many colors left here. We're getting a good indication. If you live, let me tell you what, folks. So if you live in southwestern Beckham County, this is Highway 30. Okay, this is Highway 30, far southwestern Beckham County. I think this is on the ground. Okay, just off of radar. I think this is on the ground here. So Mike and Jesse, they're going to get a little bit further to the south and shoot back into it. So this is on the ground right now. So greens going to yellows. I think I've locked onto it from here. And again, that's a good indication now. Southern Beckham County, again, it looks like there's possibly a tornado on the ground here. So Mike, as you continue going south, as you start looking back to the west, let us know what you're seeing. Let me go and switch over to velocities. And man, I'm telling you, or at least there for a moment in time, we had a fairly high velocity couplet with this as well. So this storm is definitely cycling up. I took the radar back just a minute or so. And again, as we're taking a look at this couplet, you see those bright reds and those greens right there. That's what you call a high velocity couplet. There's most likely some type of tornado genesis trying to happen again right there along that Highway 30. And I get it, it's a fairly rural part of southwestern Beckham County, but folks do live there. And again, in western Oklahoma, we have a lot of folks that watch us out there on Roku TV. So I just want to underscore again, if you live out there in southwestern Beckham County, even up through Eric, you've got to be taking your tornado precautions. Do not mess around with this storm at all. In fact, I think it's trying to produce right now. Mike, so are you guys on 283, or tell me again, Mike, exactly where you guys are?
We're about 4 or 5 miles south of Sayre on 283 right now. And we're just kind of entering into the couplet a little bit. We're starting to get a better view. But William, I can tell you, we're quite a ways away from the couplet, and we're getting strong winds feeding into it right now. So this storm is very, very intense. It's very much so pulling into it right now. In fact, as we're on the back side here, put a camera around and get this in the shot, if at all possible, excuse our antenna. But on the back side here, where the updraft region is, the whole updraft region looks like it's spiraling upward. So this is a very, very intense storm here on the southern side. It's going to be just south of Eric, Oklahoma, moving towards the Sayer area right now.
Yeah, Mike, and you guys are going to be in great position. I just see your GPS updating. So that area of spin, it's going to be coming right to you. I would, you're right there on 283, it looks like. If I was you, I want to go very much further to the south. So there's Mike and Jesse's live GPS. Once you get out of that precipitation debris, you should be able to look back to the west, and in general, that's going to be tracking right up towards you. So here, within just a few minutes, we'll be able to get a better idea of what's going on with this storm. But again, it looks like, just maybe 2-3 minutes ago, I think we locked onto one from here. We got a fairly decent indication that it was trying to produce some type of tornado genesis, possibly producing some type of tornadic activity. But again, area of spin right now, that's going to be right there in southwestern Beckham County. So again, very serious now for our friends out there in southwestern Beckham County. So again, 2 tornado warned storms. I'm going to back out of that one here for just a second, and I want to go back up here to the north. Again, tornado warning does continue here as well. This is going to be for Raiden, Mackey, all the way back over through Cheyenne and Dempsey. That's where other storm tracker is Trey Smith. Trey, we're now looking at your live video. It looks like you're just west of the Cheyenne area. It looks like you should be looking at this storm. You should have a fairly good shot of this storm now. Go ahead and give us an update and tell us what you're seeing with this storm here.
Yeah, I am west of Cheyenne now. I'm on Highway 47 heading west towards Raiden. Still gets it's just really, really dark back there. I'm going to try and get closer to it so I can peek up in there and see what's going on.
Yeah, it looks like the area of spin. It looks like the area of spin, it's just kind of maybe breathing out just a little bit right now, Trey. And so there's Trey's live GPS location. Again, he's just west now of the Cheyenne area. So again, a big mesocyclone back through here. Big, broad mesocyclone back through here. Again, this storm here, it's already been producing some hopscotch tornadoes out in the Texas Panhandle, right? So it already has a history of tornado, or at least tornadoes produced as we've gone through the afternoon. It's just now crossing the Oklahoma-Texas border into western Oklahoma. So again, this is Roger Mills County here, and again, tornado warning does continue here. Raiden, Mackey, all the way up through Cheyenne. That's kind of the county seat out there, and then all the way back down through Dempsey. But again, immediate tornado precautions. It's going to pass, the way it looks right now, through a fairly rural area, but it's going to be approaching the Mackey, even Raiden area, and then potentially as far east as Cheyenne as we go over the next 30 minutes or so. But again, this one has produced some type of tornadic activity, and it's still got really one heck of a mesocyclone with it. I'll tell you that right now. This is one heck of a mesocyclone, again, just crossing the Oklahoma-Texas border. So again, there's Trey's live video, again, of that storm right there. So Trey, as you get a little bit closer there to it from the east, you're going to the west from the east, and again, as that storm continues to approach you, again, we should have a fairly good idea of what's going on there, again, fairly quickly. So again, 2 tornado warned storms out there in western and southwestern Oklahoma. This is one that we're looking at here. Again, this is in Roger Mills County, and then of course we have another tornado warned storm. This is going to be primarily down here in Beckham County. And again, looks like the Weather Service, they're going to go ahead and extend that tornado warning here until 7 p.m. This evening. So the Beckham County storm in far northern Greer County, it's primarily in Beckham County, the tornado warning there, it's going to be extended until 7 p.m. this evening. That's the storm that Mike Russ is on. And Mike, let's go and go to your video, and we've got you on the live line. Looks like you got the base of the storm now in sight. Give us an update now on that southern storm with the new tornado warning here until 7 p.m. this evening.
Yeah, keep going. We're just passing through Delhi, Oklahoma right now, and I'm going to say we just came through Delhi, and it's kind of concerning. We saw a lot of people on their front porches, in their yards, looking back at this thing. If you're in the Delhi area watching this or can hear us, please go ahead and take your tornado safety precautions. We are looking at this right now. We're seeing a lot of rotation, a lot of motion in it. The wall cloud is definitely coming back together on it. In fact, we're really watching an area right now that really looks like it might be trying to do something. So I'm actually going to try to zoom in here, William, and try to get you a little better shot as to what we're seeing, as to what I'm talking about. You kind of see it right there in the shot.
Mike, let me tell you this, Mike. I'm telling you, it's right at Highway 30. It's right at Highway 30. In fact, it's just now crossing Highway 30, and I've still got a real good lock on it from here. And so it's going to be out there in far southern portions of Beckham County, but it's going to be approaching that Highway 283 very close. So, I mean, what you're seeing right there, that's the storm approaching you right now. And I've still got a fairly good indication there could be something on the ground. This is still a fairly high velocity couplet that we have here. So again, even as we're taking a look at our mesocyclone rate product, again, we're still getting a fairly good indication of some fairly decent spin here. So as you're getting closer to it, we're just kind of taking this moment by moment here with you. But folks, this is a mean storm. And again, outside of that tornado potential with this storm, there could easily be some baseball size hail with this storm as well. Now, this is tracking up towards the Sayre area and the Highway 283 corridor to the south in Beckham County. So you folks in that area, you've got to take your immediate tornado precautions. You've got to do it right now. We're going to get back to the northern storm here in just a second as well. But Mike, go ahead and give us another update. You're really getting in range now on that storm. Give us an update.
Yes, William. We're here on the south side. We're in the couplet right now. We're not seeing anything on the ground at this moment. However, William, I mean, this thing is really ramping up. This thing is really trying to take off. And the whole storm, this whole south side of the storm is a very classic spiral upward. I mean, this thing has just rotation all the way through and through. This thing is going to be producing large hail. If it's not, we don't see a tornado on the ground at this time. However, we are seeing a lot of motion that would indicate that this is about to produce one.
Okay, Mike, hey, let me ask you something real quick. This is important information here now. So I've got your GPS. I've locked onto you from here. So what we're looking at here, are we looking down to the southwest, or what are we looking at here? What angle is your camera in right now? Are you looking down to the southwest?
Yeah, we're looking down at the southwest right now.
Okay, so we've got the base of the storm here. It looks a little ragged. So here it looks like on this end right here, we've got some rising scud on the far right-hand side. That could actually be the inflow area into the storm. And so this is going to be the wall cloud that we're watching right back in here. So it doesn't look like there's anything that's super low hanging right now, Mike. But I mean, I'm telling you, you guys are in perfect position here. So we're going to take this in real time and see what happens. We got just a little bit of precipitation debris coming up into the area of inflow. So we've got to watch that. That could potentially kind of tamp down the rotation momentarily. But again, we've got the base here in sight. So again, we're taking this moment by moment. And again, from my vantage point here, some of this is off the screen, but from my vantage point, I don't see anything that's at least, a funnel or anything like that. Is that correct? From your vantage point?
Yes, William, that is correct. We're not seeing a funnel at this time, but again, we're seeing a lot of motion on this storm that really has us concerned that it's about to do something at any moment.
Yeah.
This is, again, very, very impressive. Everything's tightening up on it.
Okay, so I've got a low-level lock, Mike. I just locked onto it. I've got a low-level lock here now. So if this is, okay, so it looks like even here on our mesocyclone rate product, this is coming up fast. Okay, so I'm locking onto something from here. All right, so we've got to take this moment by moment, and so whatever's trying to happen, it's trying to happen here fairly quickly. And so, we're just kind of, we can only see so much here in your video, but again, you're walking us through this here, again, moment by moment. And as we kind of take a look off there to the left-hand side of the screen, okay, it looks like you guys are just turning around there, Mike. So it looks like we just lost your video there momentarily. So it looks like, I don't know if you can kind of re-angle that back up so we're able to take a look at that again, if you're still on the live line with us. So again, we're taking a look at this. This is the southern storm. Again, we have 2 tornado warnings currently in Oklahoma. We have one up in Roger Mills County. Trey Smith, one of our storm trackers, is on that storm. We're going to talk to him. We're going to look at his video here in just a second. The southern storm, tornado warning down here in Beckham County, I think this is trying to produce right now. I've got a low-level lock on it here with Mesoscan radar. Our mesocyclone rate product has really come up now over the last 2 minutes or so. And again, right now what we're looking at, we're kind of relying on Mike Russ, our storm tracker in the field, to kind of orient us with this storm. But again, Mike, what are we seeing there on the right-hand side of the screen?
Right now, William, we're not seeing a tornado or anything. However, this is a wall cloud that is getting lower. In fact, we're kind of being obscured right now. We've got a lot of dust flowing into this thing. We are definitely in the inflow notch right now. And William, as you're seeing here, there's 2 areas that we're really focusing on right now that I'm telling you, William, this thing is really pulling in right now. It is pulling a lot of, everything in its path right now is pulling in. If this thing it's close to being a tornado, William.
Mike, I've still got a low-level lock on it here, and there's a little area of precipitation that's going to come through your area, and I think the main area of rotation is right behind it, and you may not be able to see it. I think, right, Mike, I think we're seeing those rain curtains. If you can spin the camera back around, I think where we're seeing those rain curtains, it might be right behind that. So orient us on your shot here. Which way are we looking? From your live GPS location, are you looking back to the southwest, or which way are we looking at here?
We're looking actually due west from where we are at right now. Okay,
so you're looking due west. Can you angle it just a little bit more southwest? See, Mike has this area of precipitation. It's going to be coming through his area. I think those are the rain curtains, and I've locked onto it right there. So I think the main area of spin is right back in there. So it might be just temporarily right now hidden by some debris. There's the inflow. See, look at the dirt right there rising. Mike, so that's all inflow now heading into the storm. Right there where Mike is, it's feeding into it, the warm, moist air. See the dust right there? That's all inflow now riding into the storm. There's the inflow tail right there. So Mike, can you turn your camera just a little bit more? Can you turn it just a little bit more to the southwest? And Trey Smith, I hear you beeping there on the live line, picking up. If you have anything on that northern storm, just let us know. We can check on that northern storm if you have anything for us as well.
Yeah, right now I'm getting strong winds. I had to actually bug out before I got hit by the RFD. Really tight wall cloud in there, and it's kind of weird. It's on the northern side of the hailstorm or hail core, but it actually might be in that core.
Okay, and
can't really see it in my shot anymore because I had to bug out and I'm trying to reposition.
Okay, so Trey's talking about the northern storm. We're going to get right back to that one again. That one's up there in Roger Mills County. Tornado warning continues up there as well. Again, what you're looking at in real time, that's the southern storm. That's the storm that Mike Russ is on. And Mike, still give us a play-by-play. It looks like there's still a lot of dynamics happening there, again, in front of you, basically. And Mike, are you still on the live line with us?
Yes, I'm sorry, William.
Okay, so go ahead and give us an update. If you can, just pan the camera back around to the right. It looks like we may have lost the shot. You've still got a tremendous inflow coming into this storm. You've still got tremendous inflow. You can see kind of the dirt curtains there, again, being sucked into the storm. But Mike, go ahead and again, give us an update, kind of give us a play-by-play of what you're seeing there with this tornado warning there. Again, this is for primarily southern and now portions of central Beckham County. Mike, go ahead and give us a live update on this.
Yes, William. Right where we are at, we are definitely in the inflow. It is really pulling in.
Okay, so real quickly, just to tell the folks at home, so there's the inflow notch. That's all the warm air feeding into the storm. So Mike's right there. That's his live GPS. Warm air feeding into the storm. That's what we're seeing. See the dust curtains? It's all being sucked into it. This is the area of spin right back in here, and I've still got a fairly decent lock on it, Mike. So as that approaches you here over the next couple minutes, we're really going to see what's going on there. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, go and continue to give us a play-by-play.
Yes, we're really watching it. I believe it may have come down in intensity for a minute here, William. However, it definitely is trying to cycle back up. But it is definitely spinning right in front of us here. We're looking almost due west right now, and it's very, very impressive right here.
The mesocyclone spin rate, the mesocyclone spin, Mike, it's about to pass right on top of you. The mesocyclone spin rate is about to pass right over you. We've got bright reds, kind of medium greens. This is still a fairly decent high velocity couplet. The area of rotation, Mike's looking at it, it's passing right over him. It's about to pass right over him. Again, there's really the high velocity inflow into the storm. Those were the bright reds you were seeing there. Look at all that dust. Look at all that dust right there. Mike, is that you guys moving, or is that just the inflow coming into the storm now?
Yes, the inflow is heading straight to us right now, and that is exactly where we're looking. But William, this whole thing is starting to get lower and lower on us, and very, very impressive. But we're really having to watch exactly where the inflow is going, because it's a fairly dynamic situation here. Everything's kind of changing on us right now. This is very impressive. It's spinning very violently right now. We are definitely watching this thing. Haven't seen a funnel yet. However, this thing it's extremely strong right now. It's is pulling in moisture. That is for sure, William. So we're definitely watching this like a hawk, William, because this is a fairly dynamic situation.
Okay, I'm trying to get a low-level lock here again, Mike.
Please be prepared to take tornado precautions.
Mike, I'm getting a low-level lock here again. I think this is going to try and do something again. Sometimes they kind of get close to producing tornadoes, and then we get what we call tornado genesis failure. So we've got to watch this, Mike. We've got to watch for a little vortice on the ground. So it looks like it's trying to ramp up. I've got a low-level lock on it again. I'm locking onto this, and we'll see if we can't get a little spin up right there on the ground. This is very close now to trying to produce. If you can, just follow it with your camera. You may have to pan it around just a little bit, but we're watching for any kind of little vortice on the ground. That's how this will start. So we've got the condensate. We're just watching for any kind of little vortice there on the ground. But again, I've got a fairly decent low-level lock on this spin here, Mike. So again, we're just taking this in real time. Again, so what are you guys seeing? It looks like the inflow's kind of calmed down. The area of rotation is basically directly over Mike. We can say with certainty, at least right now, there's not a tornado on the ground, but we are very, very, very close to some type of tornado genesis. Mike, I don't know if you can kind of pan your camera and follow that area of spin there. But again, Mike Russ, our lead storm tracker, they're right there in Beckham County. And again, we're tracking this here in real time for you with live video from them as well. But Mike, what else do you have on that storm? All right, we may have lost Mike for 1 second there. I think he's still on the live line. And
okay, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yes, we're still watching the storm very, very carefully. It looks like our rotation area, our most aggressive lowering, actually is just to our north right now. I believe I've got it in the shot now. But this thing is very, very intense. I mean, this thing is just pulling in very, very hard. And in fact, we're going to have to move here pretty quickly because we're going to be overtaken by rain and hail, it looks like.
Hey, Trey Smith, real quick, I just want to talk about what's going on there in Roger Mills County. Trey, if you're still on the live line with us, I'm looking at your video up there just west of Cheyenne. Give us an update on that Roger Mills County storm as well.
Yeah, right now I'm about 1.5 miles to 2 miles west of Cheyenne. This thing has got some major precip in and around the updraft. This is really a high HP storm. Like I said, I had to get out of there before I got slammed with hail and rain and got stuck up in it. But we're going to continue watching this.
It looks like the area of spin, Trey, in your location there in Roger Mills County, it looks like the area of spin is just north of where you are. So we've still got this fairly decent high velocity couplet. It's actually fairly tight. There's Trey's live GPS location. I've locked onto him. There's the area of spin right there. And again, in general, that area of spin, that's going to be tracking up towards the Strong City area. So that Highway 283 corridor back up towards Strong City. Again, folks, you've got to be ready to take your tornado precautions. So we're looking at this storm here live as well. Again, we have 2 tornado warned supercells in Oklahoma. We have live video storm trackers on both of them, basically right at the area of spin on both of these storms. We're going to get right back down to the southern storm here momentarily. But again, Trey's storm, there's a little more precipitation. It's just a little bit harder to see there. But again, Trey, as you're kind of analyzing this from your perspective, again, the area of rotation just to your north, again, what else are you seeing with this storm now as it's passing just to your north?
Definitely got some great inflow into this storm. I'm estimating here that the winds into this thing are about 40 to almost 50 miles an hour.
Okay, and it looks like we did have one confirmed tornado. I just want to go back down here to the south. And it looks like the fire department, this is going to be down there. Remember when we had that little spin up right there on Highway 30 when I said I thought it was spinning up at that point in time? So we did have one report from a fire department down there. That's going to be far southern Beckham County. Mike and Jesse, they're still on this storm. Tornado warning continues here. I've still got a low level lock. This is Beckham County. So again, we're talking about 2 separate storms, one in Roger Mills County with Trey Smith. Now the secondary storm down in Beckham County with Mike and Jesse down there. Mike, I've still got a low level lock here. I mean, we've got really hard rotation. You're looking at the storm, the rotation passed right overhead. Give us an update on that storm.
Yes, we're actually back a little bit the east again here, but yes, it definitely still has a very violent rotating wall cloud on it. This thing is not done by any means. It is definitely still pulling in moisture from the ground. We're not seeing any funnels or anything as of right now. However, guys, if you're watching us and you're in the Sayre area, Delhi, you look to be safe now. It's going to cruise just to the north of you. But if you're in the Sayre area, it is cruising right up in your direction. Please be prepared to take your tornado precautions, because this thing it's close, William, to predicting something now.
Yeah, I just lost the low-level lock on it, Mike, so it looks like it really ramped up. We had a little bit of a tornado genesis failure. It happened really right on top of you when it really ramped up. It's easing down some right now, but our friends there in Sayre, heads up, because I tell you what, there's some big hail that's coming up into Sayre right now. That whole Highway 283 corridor, Sayre to the south, there's some big hail. And, besides that, obviously we have this tornado warning from Sayre all the way back over through Carter. It looks like the main area of spin, it's going to stay just south of Sayre, but it's about to cross that 283 corridor there, Mike. And again, you're still looking at it. It's still a mean-looking storm there. You're basically right there close to Highway 283 right now. And again, I'm still kind of analyzing this here on radar. The area of spin, it's come down just slightly over the last 2 minutes or so. But again, Mike, where's the wall cloud? It looks like you're kind of centering it back up right now. How's the wall cloud look now? Again, as it kind of came over you, we kind of had that low-hanging funnel. It was trying to maybe do something, but has that lifted, or give us an update now?
The wall cloud does look a little ragged right now. It doesn't look as impressive as it is. However, it is still peaking right now. Very impressive peak. And yes, we're actually coming up on the 283 corridor again here. So this one is being quite full. It is pulling. I mean, it's pretty pulling in extreme amounts of moisture. We're seeing dust applying into it right here, right at 283 basically. We're about 2 miles away from 283. It's pulling in, it's pulling in everything right now, William. This storm is trying to ramp back up again. Again, these things are living, breathing things, and this storm is bringing it to us here as it cycles up and down.
It looks like from here, Mike, the area of spin is crossing 283 right now. The area of spin, it's crossing Highway 283. This is going to be just south of Sayre. This is going to be about 5 south of Sayre. Area of spin crossing Highway 283. So you're looking at it right there. And what I want to do as well, we've got 2 tornado warned storms. We have one here in Beckham County, then we also have one up in Roger Mills County. And I'm going to kind of widen out the radar. We've got storm trackers on both of them. Trey Smith, you're on the one up there in Roger Mills County. Tornado warning continues there as well. Go ahead and give us an update. Tell us what you're seeing up there on that Roger Mills County storm.
Right now I'm kind of stuck in Cheyenne at the moment, trying to reposition north on it to keep ahead of it. But right now it definitely has a lot of inflow into the storm. And it actually might even have a little bit of a new wall cloud. It's trying to form a new circulation to the south of where that other one was.
It's still a fairly vigorous mesocyclone here. It's a little more raggedy than it was earlier. The main area of spin, it looks like they're going to go ahead and extend that tornado warning there. But the main area of spin, it's coming up, this one is also coming up on Highway 283, but again, this being in Roger Mills County, not to confuse these 2 separate storms, but again, Roger Mills County and Beckham County, both of these basically approaching now Highway 283. And again, that's where the main area of spin is going to be. The velocities on this one are just a little more raggedy than they were earlier. It looks like this one is maybe just slightly spinning down some, but again, regardless, again, the tornado warning does continue on that storm as well. So if you have anything else on that, Trey, just let us know and we'll check right back in with you. The storm I want to go back to, this one I think is just a little bit stronger down here in southern Oklahoma. The hook is a little bit stronger. The area of spin is just a little bit stronger as well. And again, the area of spin, it's basically crossing Highway 283 right now. Also in Beckham County, we've got reports now of baseball-size hail. So this is baseball-size hail. This is going to be, let's see where that report is. That's going to be just southwest of Sayre. So that big hail I was talking about coming up into Sayre, baseball-size hail now, and that's going to be from the fire department being reported. So just south of Sayre, baseball-size hail, area of spin also just south of Sayre. And again, that's where Mike and Jesse are. Mike, we're still looking at your live video. Go ahead and give us an update with what you're seeing on that area of spin right now.
Yes, William, we're seeing a lot of motion right now. I mean, extreme amounts of motion in this storm, and we're on 283 right now. We're heading back to the north, towards the Sayre area. And guys, this is not a joke of a storm. This thing is very intense. There's extreme amounts of motion to it. And I mean, again, William, this is not a joke of a storm by any means.
Mike, it looks like it's ramping back up, and I've got a low-level lock on it again. I've got a low-level lock on it, basically trying to cross right over 283. So as you guys are kind of repositioning there, Mike, go and tell me again exactly where you guys are. Are you guys back on 283? Are you guys back on 283?
I'm sorry, William, you broke up there.
No, that's fine. I know you guys are fairly rural. Are you guys back on Highway 283?
Yes, that is correct, William.
Okay.
We are on 283.
And if you're looking,
right
are
now.
you shooting back to the north on that storm? Tell me which way you're shooting there.
That is correct. Our picture is to the north.
Okay,
right
okay,
now.
yeah, now we've got it. Now this is what we need to see, Mike. So I've got a low-level lock on this again, and it looks like it's trying to possibly do something again. Okay, so now we've got it kind of back in visual here. So we've got to kind of take this moment by moment. And so Mike, as we're kind of centering up on this here, it still looks fairly raggedy. In fact, this exact same shot here, this is almost how it looked out there in the eastern Texas Panhandle. The storm hasn't changed structure much at all. But again, as we kind of approach this now from the south, Mike and Jesse, they're coming back up on it. The velocities are definitely picking back up. And Mike, we've got to watch this carefully, see if we see any vortice on the ground. Obviously, we know there's not a large tornado on the ground with this. We know that for sure. But again, this could maybe have a little spin up, a little brief spin up, a little vortice.
Yeah,
and that's what we got to watch. So again, looks like as Mike gets a little bit closer, maybe over this upcoming hill, we'll be able to get a better visual of this storm. But let me go and take a look at velocities again here. And as we do that, man, I'm telling you, it's really ramped up, Mike. So this is probably, okay, yeah, so this is going to try and produce. I think it's going to try and produce right now. This is the strongest indication we've had, Mike. The area of spin, it's going to be just east of Highway 283. Okay, so for you folks over in the Carter area, that's going to be also approaching Highway 34. This is going to be getting into portions of central Beckham County. Folks, I tell you what, if you live over in the Carter area, you've got to be taking your tornado precautions right now. This is trying to produce a tornado right now. Mike, can you zoom in on that at all? I know you're just a little bit to the south of it there. But this is the strongest indication that we've had all day. And in fact, when you're seeing the mesocyclone spin rate going from yellow to red, that's basically towards the end of the scale. So this is trying to do something right now. And again, we just kind of have to get over this hill and again, see exactly what Mike is seeing. But he's right there in perfect position, Mike. It's going to be just off to your northeast. So as you're coming back in fact, it might actually be to your east now with where your GPS is. It looks like it might be off to your east from where your GPS is. That might be where the main area of spin is. You're out there looking at it. And man, I'm telling you, even on velocities, this is a high velocity couplet. So it's trying to do something right now. And again, I continue with that low level lock on it here. Mike, are we able to look to the east of where you are right now? Are you able to pan the camera around at all?
No, William, in fact, there's nothing to our east right now. It goes back to blue skies.
Okay.
I've actually got the camera pointed exactly where the storm is and where the rotation is right now.
Okay, so are you guys, so tell me again exactly where you guys are here.
We're about 6, 7, maybe 8 miles south of Sayre, Oklahoma right now on 283. And William, this is very, very intense. Very intense circulation. A lot of motion in this storm. I would not be surprised if this thing doesn't produce one any minute.
I would agree. Yeah, Mike, I'm just looking at new data here too while you were talking there. But yeah, the area of spin, it looks like it's still just east of 283. But again, what we're seeing there in your shot, that is definitely fairly dynamic. So again, you're just south of Sayre. But again, for our friends over there in the Carter area, you folks definitely heads up. Again, right there, that's going to be right there off of Highway 34, the small community of Carter there in Beckham County. Again, tornado warning continues there. There's big hail currently up in the Sayre area. We've had reports of some baseball-sized hail. But again, we're watching the mesocyclone live here. And Mike, go ahead, keep giving us a play-by-play. Again, you're looking at it. You're the eyes in the field there. Go ahead and give us an update.
Yes, William. We're pretty close to it right now, almost directly underneath it. William, this storm the whole thing is rotating. This thing is very impressive on its rotation. We are watching it right now like crazy. It's within the realm of this thing producing.
We've still got you. We may have lost you just for a second there, Mike. You're still live here with us. Go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me, William?
Yeah, we've got you. Yeah, we've got you. I know you're pretty
Okay.
rural out there, but yeah, we've got you. Go ahead.
Yes, we're basically underneath the rotation right now, and this thing has a lot of motion. I mean, if it doesn't any time, I will be very shocked. In fact, Jesse, we're gonna have to go back south, buddy. Otherwise, we're gonna be overtaken. We're gonna have to find an east road. But this is rotating very violently. A lot of rotation to it. It's very close to producing something, William. Very close. I mean, it's very impressive rotation just south of the Thayer, Oklahoma area.
Okay, what I want to do real quick, we want to continue to watch that one there, but hey, Trey Smith, I know you're on the live line. I want to talk about the storm to the north as well, up there in Beckham County. Tornado warning continues, or for Roger Mills County, rather. Tornado warning continues up there as well. And Trey Smith, you're on that storm. I'm looking at your video here. Give us an update. Tell us what you're seeing up there around the Cheyenne area in Roger Mills County. Trey, are you still on the live line with us?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it really well in our shot, but we get a big wall cloud. We're actually almost in the rain right now, and we're almost to the clear slot where the winds come from the backside of the storm and go around. And it almost looks like, I can't tell for sure just because of how dark it is, but almost looks like it's trying to really produce something way back in there, just to the left of the road and over the hills where it curves back around.
I'm looking at it here with you as well. I'm looking at it here.
I can't zoom in, but I am almost in the RFD, and the RFD is almost, William, kicking up another circulation just to the left.
Yes,
This
is the wall cloud. That's the base right there that Trey's talking about. The problem, this storm here, there's a lot of heavy precipitation involved with this storm, where Mike and Jesse, they have a little bit more of a clean shot of theirs. But again, regardless, tornado warning continues up here. Again, this is in the Roger Mills County area. Again, tornado warning for the Cheyenne area, basically right there where Trey is. And again, all the way up through the Roll area. And there's also an opportunity for baseball size hail with this storm here as well. This one's also approaching Highway 283. Again, we have two tornado warned storms basically on Highway 283, one in Roger Mills and one down in Beckham County. And again, Trey Smith on this storm right here, he continues to watch it. And again, this one here, it's produced a hopscotch tornado out in the eastern Texas panhandle as we went throughout the afternoon. Tornado warnings have been on it as it's been here in Oklahoma. So we're continuing to track that one. And then the other storm that's maybe just a little more intense down in far southwestern Oklahoma, down in Beckham County. Guys, go ahead and give us an update. Mike, you're on the live line, and go ahead and give us an update on this storm.
William, at the moment, I'm blessed by trees, so I don't have much of an update. But I can tell you it's still got a lot of rising motion from what we're seeing. It's pulling in a lot of dust, a lot of dirt right now. We're trying to get to where we can see it a little bit better. But it does look like maybe it has come down a little bit in intensity. But again, we're just south of Thayer. We're trying to get back ahead of it a little bit here so we can get a better shot. But it does look like it's kind of come down in intensity at the moment. But please don't let that fool you, ladies and gentlemen. This thing can ramp right back up.
I've still got a fairly decent low-level lock on it from here, Mike. I've still got a fairly decent low-level lock. Also, real quick, in the Thayer area, not just baseball, we've now had a report of softball-size hail on I-40 at the Thayer exit on I-40. So again, this is extremely damaging hail associated with these storms as well. So again, just to kind of reiterate and recap, let me go and kind of do a recap here. Again, if you're just joining us here in Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, we've got two tornado warned storms currently in Oklahoma. We have one in Roger Mills and one in Beckham County. Again, we've got storm trackers on both of these storms with live video. And again, tornado warnings on both of these. The Beckham County storm, that's the one we're currently looking at there near the Thayer area, and then also one up here near Roger Mills County. That's Trey Smith. We just talked to him and saw his video a second ago. Again, both of these storms are tornado warned. Now, the storm to the north up there in Roger Mills County, this storm here, it's produced a hopscotch tornado from time to time out in the eastern Texas panhandle. It's been tornado warned since it's been in Oklahoma. Trey hasn't confirmed a tornado on it while it's been in Oklahoma. Now, this storm here, it has at least produced a brief tornado in far southern Beckham County. That's by a fire department there in southern Beckham County. Now, Mike and Jesse, they've been on it. It's been very close to producing tornadic activity. You're still seeing the live video right now. But again, right now we can't confirm a tornado on either one of these storms. But again, regardless, the tornado warnings continue. And again, if you live in those areas, you need to be taking those tornado precautions. If you live around those areas, again, you also need to be ready to take your tornado precautions as well. So Mike, you're still looking at that storm. It looks like the Weather Service to the north, they're going to go ahead and extend that tornado warning there to the north. Trey Smith, for you, your tornado warning there, it looks like it's going to be extended up into portions of Custer and Dewey County, also including portions of Ellis County. So just heads up on that. And Mike, we're still looking at your storm there in Beckham County. Go ahead and give us an update on that.
Yes, William, we're still here on it. We kind of had to turn down a county road here. But again, this storm has a lot of rising. We definitely still see, we're still seeing
okay, we may have lost Mike there. We're losing you. Mike.
It's still got a lot of rising motion. In fact, this thing still has a lot of spin left in it, guys. This storm it appears like it might be ramping back up, William.
Mike, what I want to do just real quickly here, I want to talk to Trey Smith. We've just got this brand new tornado warning up here, and this is going to be for Roger Mills, far southern Ellis County, just kind of clipped by it, and then also portions of Dewey and Custer County. So this is kind of the big warning. There's a lot of different counties included in it, so I just want to talk to Trey real quick. And again, if you're just kind of getting that push notification on the app, you're wondering what's going on with all these counties. It's this storm. It's just a really large tornado warning. So it's still Roger Mills County. That's where the main area of spin is. That's where Trey is. This is his live video, but you can see he just kind of barely clips portions of Ellis County and then also Custer and Dewey County. So that's where the tornado warning is going to now be extended to. So into portions of west central Oklahoma, and again, that's the area of spin. That's the new tornado warning there. Basically, the tornado warning just being continued off to the northeast. But Trey, you're still on the live line. We're still looking at your video. You're still there close to the Cheyenne area. Give us a quick update on that storm as well.
Yeah, we're actually heading east on 33 towards Hammond and Strong City. We're going to try and get east of this and then look back, get north again. But right now I can look over my shoulder and I do see a very large wall cloud. Sorry, I'm trying to drive also. And I do see the wall cloud. I do see lots of rotation. And I do see a very well-pronounced tail core on that right now. But that's all I can tell you at the moment.
Okay, so I just want to reiterate real quick that that brand new tornado warning is going to be for Custer, Dewey, Ellis, and Roger Mills County. I know that several counties, this is primarily going to be for portions of Roger Mills up into portions of Dewey County. So that's primarily where the area of spin is going to be. Right now, the area of spin is just north of Cheyenne, and it's going to be right there at that Highway 283 junction, just north of Cheyenne. That's where Trey Smith is. Again, that's his video. He's looking at it. We're dealing with two separate tornado warnings here in Oklahoma. We're going to get back to Mike and Jesse. They're down in southern Oklahoma and southwestern Oklahoma. We'll talk to them here in just a second. But again, the area of spin is basically right there over Highway 283. This is still a fairly vigorous area of spin, and the velocities have come down just a notch. But again, regardless, this is the same storm here that produced a hopscotch tornado out in the Texas Panhandle. So again, regardless, this storm does have a history of producing tornadic activity. And again, this right here is where the area of spin is. Trey, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually now have a shot of the wall cloud right there in the middle of my screen.
We've got it. And go and give us an update. Kind of, I see the lowering right there. I see the base and I see the lowering. From your vantage point, you're looking right at it now. Go ahead and give us an update on that.
Yeah, right now it's just sitting there rotating. I can't really see anything touching the ground. I don't even see a localized organization of spin where it'd be producing a funnel, but I do have that wall cloud right there in the middle of my screen.
This one is just a little more disorganized than what Mike and Jesse have down there in southern Oklahoma. Mike, if you have anything major development on that storm down there in southwestern Oklahoma, let me know. But again, I just want to talk about this one for a second because this is our newest tornado warning here. And again, this is for Roger Mills and mainly Dewey County. Carter County's kind of, or Custer County rather, is kind of in the warning, and also Ellis County, just a small sliver there. But the main area of spin, it's still there in Roger Mills County. It's going to be just north of Strong City now. And again, that's where Trey Smith, one of our storm trackers, is. And again, you see that kind of where the red and green come together. This is what we call a couplet, or this is where the area of spin is maximized. It's right here. So we have an area of spin here, area of spin here. It's a very broad circulation. It's not super tight. And again, that's what we're seeing there in Trey's video as well. So he's got the wall cloud actually in sight there. And again, right now at least, there's nothing low-hanging, nothing too super ominous with that storm. But again, regardless, I mean, medium-sized tornadoes are possible today. So again, if you live in that tornado warning area, again, we're basically talking about from Leedy through Ray, all the way back over through Morewood, Strong City included. You've got to take your immediate tornado precautions. You've got to take your immediate tornado precautions right now. Again, today is not a day to mess around with these storms. Mike, looks like we've had another tornado report now down there in your area. Looks like we just got a storm tracker report just northeast of you. This is going to be 3 southeast of Sayre. And looks like there was at least a brief touchdown. Go ahead and give us an update on the storm you're on down there in the Sayre area. Again, we're moving from Roger Mills County now down to Beckham County, just a little bit further to the south and southwest. Mike, give us a live update.
Yes, we're kind of in a bad area for cell phone reception right now, and we're kind of blocked in by trees. But we're just south of everything right now. We're fixing to head right back north. That's what I'm just. We're going to be coming back north right now, and we're going to be able to get a better shot. It would not surprise me that it was producing while we were covered with trees here. This thing still has a lot of motion. This thing is, crazy motion, William. In fact, now we're starting to come back into it where we can see it again, and it's still got a broad area of rotation. It's right there, William. If it's not producing and we can't see it at the moment, it will be very, very shortly again. This thing is still it's breathing on us. So it's cycling up and cycling back down. But again, this thing
it's wrapped up pretty
very
good.
Low hanging.
Yeah, it's wrapped up pretty good right now, Mike. I tell you that. And it's coming up right there on that Highway 34 up to Highway 152 junction. Highway 52 and Highway 34 junction is where that area of spin is. It's wrapped up pretty good, and I've got a fairly decent lock on it again from here. It very well could be on the ground. This is going to be north of Carter. This is a fairly rural portion of Beckham County, but again, if you live right there on that Highway 34 and Highway 152 junction area, you've got to be taking your immediate tornado precautions. This has already produced at least 2 tornadoes now in Beckham County. We have 2 confirmed tornadoes out in Beckham County with this right here. So this is kind of a hopscotch tornado that this is now producing as well. And again, right now, the way the velocities are looking here, most likely, this is a fairly strong indication again that this storm is still currently, again, producing some type of tornadic activity. This is a fairly vigorous spin now at the lower levels, and so most likely this storm is producing some type of tornadic activity. Mike, you're just right there on the southern fringes of it. Mike will be within range. We'll take a better look at that here in just a second. We've got his video there on the right-hand side of the screen. But again, down here in Beckham County, right now at least, this is the strongest storm in the state as far as tornado potential goes. And again, here over the last hour, it's at least produced 2 tornadoes. Again, the other storm up here to the north, the one that, again, Trey Smith is on. Again, brand new tornado warnings up here, generally for portions of Roger Mills and Dewey County. Again, Strong City, Morewood, even up through Leedy and Ray. Tornado warnings there. Let's go and check in quickly here with Trey Smith. He's also on that storm, the North Storm. And Trey, give us an update. What are you seeing on that storm since we talked to you last?
Right now, the wall cloud that we had really is kind of gone. It went back in. It went back up. I think it's starting to recycle a little bit and get a little bit of separation from that southern storm. And if it does, it might get something going. But right now, it's just really, I'm not seeing any organized spots or funnels, but definitely a lot of motion, rising motion into it.
Mike, what are you seeing on that southern storm? I want to go back down there. We're getting another report of a possible tornado on the ground. And again, this is going to be just north of Carter. And again, it's going to be this. And again, we're switching between 2 separate storms here. We're going to go back to Mike's video here. And Mike, you're right there looking at it. So, this is going to be just north of Carter. Again, it's at that Highway 152 and Highway 34 junction there in Beckham County. And we've got your video up here. Go ahead and give us an update. What are you seeing on that storm? Mike, Russ, are you still on the live line with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, William.
No, sorry.
We're not seeing any funnels or anything right now. We're from our vantage point. We're still watching the storm though. It's still got a lot of rotation, a lot of motion in it. This thing is absolutely crazy, and we see a lot of precipitation to our north here. The problem is these things are very high precipitation. So it's making it a little bit more difficult to see. We're kind of in a low contrast situation, but we're still watching it very, very, very closely.
Mike, tell
Again,
me
we're
real
not-
quick. Tell me real quick exactly where you are again. Go and give me an update real quick on where you are. If we still got you there on the live line, go and tell me where, because it's going to be just north of you. And to me, it looks like this is on the ground. And, you know, like I said, there's medium-sized tornadoes possible today. This is a fairly vigorous area of spin here. To me, this looks like it's on the ground, especially just based off of radar here. Tornado warning is going to be extended down here for Beckham and Washita counties. And this is going to be until 7:45. This is the storm that Mike's looking at here. And we've got his video there. But Mike, go and tell me exactly where you guys are down there. Give me a quick update on that. And again, brand new tornado warning again as well. Again, this is going to be down here in Beckham and Washita County. And again, this is going to be until 7:45 this evening. Burns Flat is going to be included in this. Also, Dill City is also going to be included in that tornado warning. I think this is on the ground, and I think it's basically just north of the Highway 152 and Highway 34 junction is where I think it is. But Mike, tell me again exactly where you guys are.
Honestly, that's a good question, William. We're south and east of Sayre right now. We're looking back kind of easterly into the storm right now, and there is it is very low. It's a very low wall cloud. It is spinning very vigorously out here. We're not seeing anything on the ground right now. However, it's very intense rotation. I mean, it could be producing off and on, that is for sure.
Yeah, I think this is on the ground, Mike. I've got a decent log on it here. And I'm telling you what, yeah, I think this is on the ground. I think it's basically crossing 152 and the 34 junction. And again, so tornado warnings are going to continue on that. And again, for our friends over there in Burns Flat, Dill City, even back over through Foss, this storm right now, I think it's really wrapping up. And this tornado could try and stay on the ground for a little while. So, and in fact, right here, folks, let me go and zoom in on this. This is on the ground. And let me tell you this real quick. Let me go and zoom this in. And what we're seeing right here, this is on the ground. So what you're seeing here, as we're taking a look at this area right here, this is almost now forming a debris ball. Kind of where you're seeing that hot pink circling around. So that's the area of spin right there. And inside of that area of spin, that's the actual tornado. This is wrapping up. This is a fairly impressive supercell now. This is on the ground. And so Mike, he's coming back into within range on this storm. But Mike, I'll tell you right now, I've locked onto it here. This is definitely, there's no doubt about it. This is on the ground. And it looks like we might even be starting to get a bit of a debris signature. And when I say debris signature, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's hit houses and there's debris in the air. But it can also be, you know, dirt and dust and other things like that that basically get wrapped up into it. And again, those little particles, they give you kind of a higher reflectivity on the radar beam, and that's what we're seeing. But again, you can actually see the curvature, you can actually see the spin within this storm. And again, all indications are, and even as you look at this couplet here, again, where you've got this hot green and hot red, this is on the ground. And this is real serious now, especially for our friends heading in over there to portions of Washita County. Right now, it's in a fairly rural area. This is a high velocity couplet, and this easily could be trying to become a medium-sized tornado. And again, this has been on the ground now, I think, for probably 10 minutes. Ever since we had that report down here, I don't think, just by looking at velocities here, I really don't think this has lifted much at all. And so again, for our friends over here in that part of the state, let's go through the cities again here. Again, Mike and Jesse, they're getting closer to that storm. Their video there is on the right-hand side. But again, fairly rural right now. It's going to be approaching Highway 6 fairly quickly. It's almost moving down and just north of Highway 152. So again, kind of rural areas out there. It's going to be just south of Elk City. It's going to stay just south of Elk City, but again, Elk City right now is getting hammered with hail. And again, that hail size there, again, we've had reports of baseballs, even softballs earlier out there on I-40. So again, extremely large hail, again, coming through the Elk City area right now. And again, in general, that's tracking towards Burns Flat out there in Washita County. So again, right now, the way it looks, that is on the ground. And again, tornado warning does continue on that. I want to go up to our other tornado warned storm here quickly as well. I've got Trey Smith up there on the north storm. And this primarily is still up here in Roger Mills County. Again, we're dealing with two separate tornado warned storms. There's only two tornado warned storms. But Trey, go ahead and give us an update on that northern storm. What are you seeing with that? I see it from here too. I see it from here too. The overall rotation rate is really coming down on that storm. So we're going to kind of break away from that. Again, we're trying to kind of split coverage as much as possible. I've got to report a grapefruit size hail now on this storm down here in Beckham County. This is a quite severe storm, folks. Whenever you're talking about 4-inch hail, and again, this is a trained spotter that's reporting it there. That's going to be 5 north of Carter. So 5 north of Carter, that's where, and this was going to be, let's see, that's about 6:57, just a few minutes ago. Grapefruit size hail with this storm. So again, this storm absolutely right now in Oklahoma, this is the most severe storm. And again, unfortunately, the tornado warning continues right there where you see that little 4.0. That's where the grapefruit size hail report was. And again, that was just 3 minutes ago. So Mike and Jesse, they're still down there on that storm. Guys, go ahead and give us a live update. We're still looking at your video here, and go ahead and give us an update on that storm. Mike, if you're still on the live line with us here, go ahead and tell us what you guys are seeing down there.
Yes, William. We're still on the back side of it right now. We're trying to get into a little better position. However, we are seeing a lot of rotation on the storm. It's very, very intense right now. I would not be surprised that we're just not seeing it at the moment, just due to our rotation. But I would not be surprised if this storm isn't producing something right now. We're seeing even on the mesoscam exactly what you're seeing, that it's very, very heavy rotation.
So again, this is going to be Highway 6 all the way down to the Highway 152 junction. That area, that's where the area of spin is going to be. And again, this is still a very well-pronounced area of spin. And even on radar reflectivity here, and then even as we take a look at our mesocyclone rate product here, again, we're seeing the greens going to yellows there. Again, we're still getting a fairly strong indication. I think this tornado, since we got the initial report of it down there across portions of southern Beckham County, I think it's been on the ground the entire time. It may have hopscotched a little bit, but I think primarily it's probably been on the ground more than not, just based off of radar here. And again, right there, we're seeing that's where the report of the grapefruit 4-inch diameter hail was. Again, keep in mind that's extremely damaging. That can almost do significant roof damage. You know what I mean? So that'll absolutely blow out car windows, blow out windows on your houses as well. So not a good situation with this storm here. Mike, go ahead. Let's do this. Let's go and kind of widen out the view. Because what I want to do, I want to give an overview because we're tracking this storm. This is tornado warned. We have another tornado warning to the north, but I just want to kind of give an overview of what's going on here in Oklahoma. So if you're just now joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, again, just after 7 p.m., again, on this Tuesday evening, this is what we have going on. We have only 2 tornado warned storms. We have one right here in Beckham County moving into Ouachita County. This one I think is producing a tornado right now. Again, Mike and Jesse, they're about to be within range to see it there on video. We've got Trey Smith on the northern storm, still primarily up there in Roger Mills County. The overall rotation on that storm is easing down. This storm here is weakening some, but again, still a tornado warning does continue on that storm. And then we just have kind of an old-fashioned severe thunderstorm warning down across portions of Greer and northern Jackson County. We're tracking that storm there as well. So the most severe storm in the state, it remains the Beckham County storm. Again, we just had a report of grapefruit size hail. We get large hail here in Oklahoma, but we not every year have a report of grapefruit size hail. And so again, this storm here in general, the big hail core is now up around the Elk City area, up there on I-40. And again, the area of spin, and it's just a monster area of spin. I really still feel like this is still on the ground. And in general, it's going to be tracking towards Highway 6. It's going to be just north of Highway 152. This is fairly rural portions out there of Beckham County. It's going to move into Ouachita County, Burns Flat, all the way up through Canute, all the way up through Foss. You folks are in the tornado warning. So again, if you live in those areas, you've got to be taking your immediate tornado precautions. I think this tornado, I do think it's still on the ground. And again, this could be a weak to possibly medium sized tornado. So we're still looking at Mike and Jesse's live video. They're on the right-hand side there. We've also got Trey Smith. He's up there on the northern storm, up there around the Cheyenne area. Let's quickly check in with Trey. Trey, I know you said that storm was weakening. I'm seeing it here on radar as well. Give us a quick live update on that storm up there around north of the Cheyenne area now.
Yeah, actually right now when I'm driving on, actually taking me away from the storm, but it has really lost a lot of its intensity on there. Even on radar, from what I can see, it's lost a lot of its intensity, but it's just really not even looking as impressive as it was, say, about 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, we're seeing it. We're seeing it here on radar, and it looks like the overall, the overall area of spin. I mean, not to take away from the tornado warning. That doesn't mean let your guard down and not take your tornado precautions. But again, the overall area of spin. This is maybe just good news for the folks living in that area. It looks like it is easing down. But again, officially, from Moorwood to Leedy to Trail to Camargo to Ray, all the way back over through Berman, the tornado warning, at least right now, it does continue. So. There's still an opportunity for some fairly large hail. Again, we're seeing the pink going to black. That could easily still be some tennis ball size hail in that storm. Now on our southern storm down here in Beckham County, again, not to confuse the two, again, that's where Mike and Jesse, our other storm trackers, are. This one is produced, so far we've had reports of baseball, tennis ball, and now grapefruit, 4-inch size hail with this storm. We've also had a report of 2 tornadoes on the ground. I think there's still a tornado on the ground with this storm right now. Again, the area of spin, it's not weakening at all. The area of spin with this one is not weakening at all. And again, it's still approaching that Highway 6 and that Highway 152 corridor there in Beckham County. If you live out there, that's south of Elk City, that's south of I-40. Not by much, but it's south of I-40. That's where the main area of spin is. But Mike, you guys are still out there on that storm. Go ahead and give us a live update and tell us what you guys are seeing on it.
Yes, William. Right now we're east of Sayre. We're going to be on 152 in just a second. We're trying to play catch up on the storm a little bit right now. But again, this storm has a lot of rotation. It's got a lot of feeders into the storm. It is definitely sucking. This storm is still very much so, very intense. In fact, we had to hit I-40 here for a second, and William, we can confirm that there was definitely baseball, softball size hail in this area. Very impressive, large hail all over the ground out here. Just very intense. We've seen a lot of people that have actually slid off the road, gotten stuck in the center median. We had a semi that was off on the side of the road. I-40 is kind of a mess. So please, if you're traveling westbound down I-40, please be very, very careful. In fact, I'd urge you not to do it. It's very intense on I-40 right now. And with this storm, there's no signs right now that we can see of it weakening. And it just makes it very impressive right now, and it kind of worries us a little bit. We're still seeing low rings. We're not seeing any funnels or tornadoes at this time.
Mike, I can tell you this. I still think it's on the ground, and I'm really concerned now. So for our friends out here in Burns Flat, all the way up through Canute, so this right here, this is kind of what we call a centrifuge effect on radar. So as you're looking at this, you can actually see the area of spin and the area of dust wrapping up on this storm right here. So again, we don't have a visual that it's on the ground. Mike and Jesse, they're about to be there. We're about to get a visual. But I think this is, if it's not producing right now, I think it's producing a hopscotch tornado. It means it's on the ground, it's lifting, it's on the ground, it's lifting. But I think this might be on the ground more than not. This is a very impressive radar signature. Whenever you kind of get the centrifuge effect where you can actually see the area of dust spinning within the mesocyclone right there and kind of the donut hole right there in the middle, again, it's more times than not a fairly decent indication that there's something on the ground. And again, I think this is either on the ground or it's a hopscotch tornado out there. And again, we had a report of it actually being on the ground probably 15 minutes ago. And I think since then it's kind of been hopscotch on and off. Let's go and take a look at velocities again here. And yeah, Mike, I'm telling you, this is on the ground. Just by looking at radar, this is on the ground. So we've got an ultra high velocity, not just a high velocity. This is an ultra high velocity couplet. This is a broad mesocyclone, and see those kind of hot colors there, hot red, hot green. I know that sounds simple. That's what you look for on radar. This is on the ground right there. It's right in the middle of the centrifuge. It's right in the middle of the centrifuge. It's right there. It's on the ground, Mike. As you guys get closer to it, this is on the ground. And, it could easily have been on the ground now for 10 to maybe 15 minutes. And again, this is a little concerning now for our friends out there in Burns Flat, Canute, all the way up through Foss. Again, it's still a little ways away, and we've almost got a donut hole. I've almost got a donut hole here in the middle. So this is on the ground. I'm going to zoom in the radar here a little bit more. And again, there's the donut hole right there. So there's all the dust circling around it. There's the donut hole. That's the tornado right there. So this is on the ground. So Mike, are you guys on 163? Tell me again where you guys are. You should be approaching this now fairly quickly. But again, from radar,
Yes,
this is on the
we
ground.
are on 152 right now. We are flying in that direction as fast as we can. But William, as we're getting closer, the rotation is tightening up, even in the mid levels here. So I do have to agree with you. I do believe that there's something going on. There's probably definitely a tornado on the ground. If there's not, ladies and gentlemen, it is so close to being so. You need to take your tornado precautions. We're trying to get back in position. We're right there with it. So bear with us.
Let me tell you what, folks. If you have friends, family,
here, it's very intense. It's a very intense storm. I don't see any signs of it weakening right now. Please, especially like if you're in the Canute area, Foss, Burns Flat, please take your tornado precautions. Don't wait for this thing to come over you. Please don't stand on your front porches trying to watch this. It is coming your way. Please take your tornado precautions.
Absolutely, Mike. And I mean, that's really great advice, but I'll tell you this as well. If you have friends, family, or loved ones who live down in this area, today's one of those extra special Oklahoma weather days where most people are plugged into the weather and they know that there could be some fast changing weather conditions. But I would still err on the side of caution. If I had friends that lived in Burns Flat, friends, family, loved ones, relatives, anybody, Canute, or even Foss, I would call them right now. I would text them and let them know that, again, there's a tornado warned storm heading in their direction. And again, this isn't kind of the average tornado warning, so to speak. I mean, this is a fairly well wrapped up mesocyclone. I've still got a donut hole. I still think, just based off of radar, I think this is on the ground. I think it's probably been on the ground for over 10 minutes, maybe hopscotch at times, but overall, I think it's been on the ground. And again, Mike and Jesse, they're about to be there on it. But again, from Burns Flat, Canute, all the way up through the Foss area. If you have friends, family, loved ones who live out there, or even in rural portions of Ouachita County, outside of those hometowns, call them, text them, let them know that, again, they're under a tornado warning. And even though the tornado threat itself is still, several minutes away from where they are, that they need to be taking their immediate tornado precautions. And again, they need to be doing it right now. And again, Russ was absolutely right on what he said. A lot of times in Oklahoma, we get the tornado warnings and we're kind of out there looking on our front porch, looking at the storm. It's never good to do, but I tell you what, today is not the day to do it. Don't mess around, especially with this storm down here in Beckham County. Don't mess around with this one. I still think it's on the ground. And again, besides that, we've had, again, the reports of baseball, tennis ball, and grapefruit size hail with this storm as well. But again, Mike, even with the new scans here coming in, the velocity couplet here, it's just as hot as it was. I'm not seeing any signs of it weakening at all here on radar. I still, from just looking at this, I still think this is on the ground. So you're getting closer to it. Go ahead and give us an update again from your vantage point.
Yes, William. We're on 152 right now. We're still seeing a lot of rotation. However, I still think we're a little bit below it. But we are trying to get on it as fast as possible here. But again, we're still seeing a lot of rotation. If you're southeast side of Elk City, Canute, please be taking your tornado precautions. This is not a joke of a storm by any means, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we're seeing a lot of rotation on this. This is just absolutely insane.
Hey, real quick, I want to go up to our northern storm. And again, so we're going to walk away from, that's the Beckham County storm and the Ouachita County storm. I want to go back up here to our Roger Mills storm and also our Custer and Dewey County storm. Tornado warning continues on that. Again, it's still not as impressive as it was. But again, our other storm tracker, Trey Smith, he's on that storm. So again, we're talking about two separate storms. But Trey, go ahead and give us a live update. And again, tell us what you're seeing on that Roger Mills, Custer, and Dewey County storm.
Well, from the last few radar scans I've been watching, it actually looks like it's trying to pick up intensity again. That the other storm has gotten far enough ahead of it that this one up here can now get a little more air back into it. But it is definitely picking up in intensity a little bit. I do have a little bit of a wall cloud forming from what I can see, but I'm trying to get a little bit closer before I see it.
Looks like we're getting a bit of a notch here too, kind of starting to redevelop a little bit as well. So again, we're talking about two separate storms. This one also has big hail. And again, we've already been talking about, again, baseball, tennis ball, golf ball size hail. This one also has big hail here as well. That's just north of Leedy. Black going to gray, going to white. We're out of radar colors there. So again, that's going to be big hail. There's the inflow notch Trey's talking about. The notch is starting to redevelop there. So now the storm, again, it's being able to kind of feed, get warm air back into it. It's kind of getting some separation from that other southern storm. That was kind of the problem that we ran into with this storm, is that they got so close. There wasn't really any more warm air to feed into that storm. But again, now that there's separation, there's kind of the mouth where it's feeding in right there around the Leedy area. Again, big hail core there just to the north. So we've got to continue to watch that storm. Regardless, the tornado warning does continue with this storm. So whether it kind of weakens, strengthens, whatever it does, it doesn't matter. Officially, there's still a tornado warning in effect for that storm. And again, the tornado warning in effect for Camargo Trail all the way back down through Leedy. That's basically Highway 34, all the way down through Moorwood, Ray, even back over through
William, we have damage. We have damage.
Okay, so let's go back to Mike. He's got damage. This is going to be back down there on that.
William, we have damage.
We got you, Mike. You're on the live line. Go ahead and give us an update. So we're back on that Beckham County storm. Give us an update on that, Mike.
Yes, William, we have damage here on 152. It looked like maybe a mobile home got destroyed. We saw bedding, stuff like that kind of stuck in the fencing there. This is still a very dangerous situation, ladies and gentlemen, and that proves it right there. In fact, we've got fire departments heading north right now ahead of us, and we're actually close enough now where we're starting to see exactly what's going on here. And this is still a very intense storm. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, seeing debris on the road is a very serious situation. We don't want anybody getting hurt, and I believe they're okay, but we are still watching this.
Hey, Mike, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this too, Mike. The area of spin on this storm here, again, we're talking about the Beckham County storm, it's lifting more to the north. And I tell you what, you folks up there in Canute through Foss, it's taking more of a northeasterly turn. It's made a northeast. In fact, it's stalled and it's now turning northeast. And it's actually tracking more up towards Canute, and it's actually tracking more up towards Foss. Burns Flat, you folks are still in the tornado warning. The storm stalled and it's turned now more to the northeast. And the area of spin has come down just a little bit. The overall area of spin, it's come down just slightly, but it's back up and tracking back up towards I-40, up towards the Canute and the Foss area. You folks in Burns Flat, stay alert. But again, this storm, it's now stalled and it's turning northeast. And the hook and the big area of spin here, it's turning back more up towards the Canute area. It's lifting back to the north here. And this is where I'm talking about. Here's Canute, there's Foss, there's Burns Flat. This was almost centerline track towards Burns Flat. What's happened, the hook, you see the hook right there, it's stalled and it's now turned a little bit more to the northeast. And that northeasterly motion, first of all, it's going to take it right up there on I-40. So that's I-40, that's not good, number one. And yeah, you can absolutely see this is a definite northeasterly turn now. It's coming right up there into the Canute area and then potentially back up there through Foss. So Burns Flat, you folks stay alert. You folks stay alert, you're still in the tornado warning. But again, the main hook, it's stalling and it's now lifting more to the northeast. Mike, you're still looking at it there, but let's go and take another look at velocities here. Let's go and take another look at velocities because this is a definite change. And this is what we mean by fast changing weather conditions here in Oklahoma. And again, the area of spin, it's still very well pronounced. It's still very well pronounced. And again, it's coming right up into the Canute area here fairly quickly. And, you know, Mike, you know, you guys are, it looks like you're probably just going to have to stay on 152 there. I don't know. You may just have to stay on 152. The area of spin, it's getting closer up there to the I-40 corridor, but there's really not a good way to get north on it. But I tell you what, folks, if you live in the Canute area, you need to be taking your immediate tornado precautions. If you're not already, you need to be taking them right now. And in fact, all the way back over through the Foss area, you need to be taking your immediate tornado precautions. I know we've got a lot of people out there in Western Oklahoma that watch us on Roku, and I get your emails all the time. But you know what? Today's the day. We're covering your weather out there in Western and Southwestern Oklahoma nonstop. And what you guys need to do right now, you need to do it for me. You need to go and get in your tornado safe space. And again, Canute all the way up through Foss. There's the hook right there. This is a big area of spin right through here. And this has made a hard northeast turn. It was tracking more towards Burn Flat. Burns Flat. But again, this is a major turn here. It's stalled, and it's now turning northeast here. Canute back up through the Foss area, big area of spin. I think there's been a tornado on the ground. It could have been a hopscotch tornado on and off the ground, but I think there's probably been a tornado on the ground more times than not here over probably the last 15 to 20 minutes, 25 minutes with this storm. Mike, you're still looking at it. I know you've had a little bit of damage now. I think you said you had a mobile home that looks like something happened. So go ahead, and we're going to get up to Trey here in a second too. Trey, I see what's going on in your video. We're going to talk about that storm here in just a minute. Mike, give us an update again real quick here on this Beckham and Washita County storm.
Yes, William. We actually just, right in that area of damage, they actually had a road blocked off that I believe they probably had some significant damage just due to the location. I'm sure this thing has had a tornado on the ground for quite a while. We're still fighting to get back on it. We're fighting traffic right now. We're right behind it. We're still seeing a lot of rising motion.
I mean, look at the structure. Mike, look at the structure with this. Mike, look at the structure with this storm. So we're looking at it right here. Look at the structure of this storm, the striations in it. And, I'm still getting a good indication. It's coming through the Canute area right now. So for you folks there in Canute, it's coming through your area right now. But the structure of the storm, the striations with this storm, this is what we're talking about. These are the days when medium-sized tornadoes are possible. It takes a lot of dynamics. A lot of things have to happen in order to produce even a weak funnel. But in order to get medium-sized tornadoes, a whole lot has to happen, and there's been a whole lot happening with the dynamics today with these storms. So let's go and take a look. We've got another scan coming in here. We're using the Frederick Nexrad site down here in southwestern Oklahoma, and let's go and take a look because this is starting to look a little more disorganized. So our mesocyclone rate product, we've still got a good area of spin, but I can tell you, and this doesn't take away from the tornado warning, this doesn't mean take this storm any less serious. And I'm just getting some information here coming in as well. But the area of spin, it's definitely much more disorganized than it was probably 10 minutes ago. So you're not seeing that high, hot velocity couplet. We basically had a textbook couplet, high velocity, ultra velocity couplet probably 10 minutes ago. And that's when it was, I don't think there was any doubt about it producing a tornado from here. I think I locked onto it. Mike's already had some damage in the areas he's driven through. But again, you can see kind of the reds and greens. This is much more disorganized than it was. That doesn't mean the tornado's lifted. But again, if I'm just kind of analyzing this here on radar, it's just maybe one notch down as far as the concern goes with this storm. But again, regardless, there's a tornado warning in effect here. And again, this storm, it's at least produced some type of tornadic activity. I think there could have been a tornado on the ground for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It could have been hopscotch at times, but I think it's been on the ground more than it's not. I think it's trying to maybe lift now. It probably has lifted. Again, just looking at some velocities here. And so we're looking at Mike's live video. So we're going to check back in with Mike Russ here in just a second on that storm. But I want to go to the north. I want to go back to our northern storm because we continue with tornado warnings up here to the north. And this is going to be up here really across portions of Dewey County. And this storm is re-intensifying. Trey Smith, you're on the live line. We've got your video. Go ahead and give us a live update on this storm. Trey Smith, are you on the live line with us? Okay, we may have lost Trey temporarily, but he's looking at this storm. And again, this is going to be north of Leedy. And again, this is going to be approaching now. This is going to be approaching Highway 34. This has got a large hail core, and it's also got a fairly vigorous area of spin here as well. But again, the hail core, you're seeing the black area. And again, this is primarily now going to be pushing into portions of Dewey County. Again, tornado warning continues there. Camargo Trail, even back down through Leedy. And again, you see that hail core there going from black to white. And again, we've had reports this evening of baseball, tennis ball, and even grapefruit size hail. So we've got some very damaging hail going on across Oklahoma. And Trey Smith, are you on the live line with us, or are you still off? Okay, we may have still lost Trey. That's his video. He's watching that storm. If there's anything pressing, it looks like we may have just got Trey back on the live line. Trey, we're on your video. We're kind of looking at your storm up there in Dewey County. Go ahead and give us a live update with what you're seeing up there.
Yeah, right now, according to my positioning on the radar, I'm pretty much right at the circulation. It's just across the street here in this field. It's really hard to see on my camera, but I can definitely see wrapping rain curtains. Rain curtains are going from my left to the right up there.
Let's go and take a look at velocities here. And you know, there's a small little couple, you're right, just north of you, there's just kind of a small little high velocity couplet trying to develop there. And mesocyclone rate, not extremely high, but it's going to be right there, right over Highway 34. You're right, it's just north of you. It's almost directly over Leedy. And again, there's a small little high velocity couplet. So you're looking at it, Trey, kind of from your vantage point. You know, we kind of see the base, it looks pretty raggedy just from looking at it here. But again, from your vantage point, I mean, is this anywhere near tornado genesis, or just, you know, kind of from your expert opinion, what are you seeing with that storm there?
I mean, I don't think it's anywhere near tornado genesis at this moment, but it is definitely did improve. I'm getting winds out of the west right now from it. So I believe the circulation is passing just overhead.
Okay.
And we're going to go up the Leedy and try and get east of it again.
Okay, so we're just looking at, I'm just looking at some more reports coming in here. More damage now south of Elk City. And several reports of damage down here in Beckham County. And again, folks, just like when we were on it, I think that tornado was probably on the ground, you know, for maybe 15 minutes. It may have been hopscotch at times, but I think it was on the ground more times than not. Several damage reports now, basically right there at Highway 6 and also at Highway 152 along that corridor there. And again, also, you know, our team of trackers, Mike and Jesse. And Trey, let us know if there's any changes on that storm. We're still looking at your video there. And, you know, lots of dynamics going on there. So let us know if there's any changes. I just switched back over to Mike and Jesse. And again, they're still there on that storm down here in Beckham, now really moving into Washita County. Again, we're talking about two separate tornado warned storms. We don't want to get them confused. This one has been producing a tornado down here, mainly in Beckham County. It's now in Washita County. I think the tornado right now is lifted. I think the velocities are coming down some. The tornado warning continues, so that doesn't mean take the storm any more lightly, even though the tornado warning does continue there. But again, I think from what I had here maybe 10 to 15 minutes ago, I had a fairly good lock on it, and I think it probably produced a tornado for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It may have been hopscotch at times, but I think it was on the ground more than it was not. So Mike and Jesse, you guys are still down there on that storm. We see the base of it there in your shot. Go and tell us now where you are and give us a live update with what you're seeing on that storm down there.
Yes, William, we're on 152 right now. We're going to be almost due south of Canute, Oklahoma. We're still seeing a wall cloud, and it actually looks like it's trying to ramp back up again, William. Again, the storm these things are living, breathing things. And this thing is definitely just kind of gave a sigh of relief. It looks like it might be trying to gather itself back up.
Okay, they're going to go ahead and, Mike, I hate to interrupt you there. They're going to go ahead and reissue that tornado warning. In fact, there it is right there. They're going to go and reissue that tornado warning, and this is going to be for portions of Washita and Custer County until 8 p.m. So I just want to pass this along real quickly here. Washita and Custer County, this is going to be a brand new tornado warning. It does include the Clinton area. It also includes Stafford. It also includes Foss. It still includes Canute as well. But the area of spin, if you remember from maybe 10 minutes ago, it's stalled just south of Canute, and it's now lifting northeast. And so from Canute to Foss to Stafford to Arapahoe to Clinton, tornado warning now in effect for this storm here. And again, the area of spin, Mike, you're right, it's starting to redevelop. It's really redeveloping now just east of Canute. They came down slightly over the Canute area. It's redeveloping now just east of Canute. The area of low-level spin, and even on the mesocyclone rate, we're starting to get some green pixels showing back up. So this is starting to ramp back up. It's right on I-40, Mike. It's sitting right over I-40 right now, ramping back up. But again, as you're looking at it, what are you seeing there from your vantage point?
Yes, I know we don't have it in the shot right now, but William, the wall cloud is definitely being reorganized. It is a large wall cloud right now. This thing is going to try again. It's definitely ramping back up, and I believe you are correct. It looks like it's right on top of I-40. We are just due south of it right now. We are seeing it rotate. It is growing in size right now. It's going to be just east of Canute. In fact, we just passed the Canute turnoff there off the 152, and it's still just a little bit to the northeast of us. So that means it's going to be just east of Canute right now. So that puts Foss, you are in danger of this thing. So please be watching, be ready to take your tornado precautions. Clinton Lake I know there's residents out there. You're going to be under the gun of this thing. Please be ready to take your tornado precautions. Actually, if I was in the Clinton Lake area, I'd be going ahead and taking your tornado precautions now.
Hey, Mike, are you guys able to bounce up there to I-40? How far away are you from I-40? Are you guys able to easily get up there to I-40?
Yes, William. In fact, here in about 3 or 4 miles, we're going to be cutting back north, and we're going to be going right into the Foss area.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly where the area of spin is going to be. I'm just switching. The radar looks different for a minute because I'm switching the other radar around. I'm switching out of the Frederick radar. I'm switching back to the Oklahoma City radar here on our high velocity, so our high reflectivity radar. So we're going to switch this around and take a different look at this storm from a different radar site. And you know, it still looks impressive, but it's not. It's still not at the level that it was at just a few minutes ago. Now, again, that's not to take away from the tornado warning at all. It's not to take away from the tornado warning, but it's still not quite at that level it was at 10 minutes ago. And that's still not saying it's not going to try and produce a tornado or it's not producing a tornado. But again, it's just not quite at that super intense level, again, that it was at just a few minutes ago. But Mike, we're still looking kind of at your video there. It looks like your video may have stalled for a second. So I don't know if you can maybe try and refresh that, and we'll get right back to it. I know you're cutting to the north there on that storm, but again, tornado warning continues for Foss, Stafford, Clinton, all the way back up through Arapahoe, Highway 183, and I-40, that junction right there. Let's go over to Trey Smith real quick. And Trey, you're still up there in the Aledi area. You're looking at the other storm, again, our other tornado warned storm, and again, this storm is actually now the tornado warning was allowed to expire. So this one's now only severe warned. And again, this is primarily going to be up there in Dewey County. But Trey, go ahead and give us a live update on your storm and let us know what you're seeing up there.
Nope. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Trey, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, this one looks like it ramped up there for a little bit, and I believe that was its last breath. I don't think it's going to be able to sustain itself anymore with that storm to the south.
Yeah, the southern
right
storm.
Now, but it does have a little hail core on it. Other than that, that's about it.
Okay, so we'll continue to watch that. I mean, you're still the eyes on it up there. I mean, if anything changes on that storm, let us know. Right now, we just kind of want to focus in on at least our tornado warned storm, and again, the storm that I think has probably been producing some type of tornadic activity off and on down there in Beckham County. So we've got Mike's video back up there, and Mike, we do continue again with this tornado warning down here, again from Canute back up through Foss, back up through Stafford, Clinton, and Arapahoe. Go ahead and give us a live update on that storm. We're still looking at it there in your video. And again, if you live in the Foss area, that I-40 corridor back up to Stafford, back up to Clinton, Arapahoe there on 183, heads up, this storm at least it has produced intermittent tornadic activity. There's been damage associated with this storm. There's also been some baseball, tennis ball, and golf ball size hail reported with this storm as well. But Mike, you're still on it there. Go ahead and give us a live update.
Yes, William. We're about to turn north. Really very dynamic stuff. What's up cycling up and down right now? It's growing with so the walk crowd is growing each time it cycles now. When it comes back together, it just gets bigger. This is still breathing. It's still a very big filter right now. Do not take the storm quickly. And if you're in the Clinton Lake, Foss area, I start taking your tornado precautions now. A little bit towards northwest now, but we're going to be on it. Bring you a very dynamic shock here, but.
Okay, and right now this is the only tornado warning in Oklahoma. I just want to be very clear about that. We're going to back this out. If you're just joining us here at 7:33 here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, we have one tornadic supercell. This has produced tornadic activity. This has at least been producing some hopscotch tornadoes in Oklahoma. There may be one that was possibly on the ground for maybe 15 minutes. This was primarily out here in Beckham County. One tornado warning currently in effect here in Oklahoma, Washita, Custer County. Okay, that does include the I-40 Clinton exit area out there. So heads up on that. This is the one that Mike is on. So we're tracking that one carefully. Our other tornado warned storm is now only severe. Trey Smith is on that storm. He's still got eyes on it. If anything changes, we'll be talking to him. But again, Trey Smith, he's up there in Dewey County tracking that. And then we also have just kind of a severe storm. This is mainly a hail producer storm, and this is moving out of Greer County into portions of Kiowa County. This has never been tornado warned. This has only been a severe storm. But again, regardless, we continue to track that. This tornado watch remains in effect until 10 p.m. this evening. And again, keep in mind this tornado watch, it's what we call a PDS watch, which stands for a particularly dangerous situation. The reason they issued that watch is because, again, an opportunity of strong tornadoes and then also very large hail. And we've seen that very large hail, baseball, tennis ball, and 4-inch grapefruit size hail. So again, this has been, not unprecedented for Oklahoma, but again, when you're talking about grapefruit size hail, that's kind of on the upper end of things, even by Oklahoma severe weather standards. So, and also more damage reports continue to come in just south of Elk City. This easily, and it'll be very interesting when the Weather Service goes out to survey this tornado. I think there was probably a time, just by looking at radar, when we kind of had the centrifuge effect, this easily could have been a medium-sized tornado, but there's some fairly significant damage now coming in reported just south of Elk City out there in Beckham County. So that's a storyline as far as the damage goes that we'll continue to track as well. So let's go and zoom back in. The storm overall, the structure, it's still nowhere near the level that it was 20 minutes ago. This is still a tornado warning. The storm is still serious. It's still ominous. Don't take it the wrong way. But this is nowhere near kind of the classic pancake supercell with the hook, with the centrifuge effect and a donut hole in the hook. That was probably producing a medium-sized tornado. So tornado warning does continue here, but the overall structure of the storm quite a bit different than maybe 20 minutes ago when, again, it was most likely producing possibly, some EF2 to EF3 type tornadic activity. As we take a look at the mesocyclone right here, again, it's eased down. Still got a fairly decent high-velocity couplet here, and it's this is what we're talking about right here. It's this area of red and green. This is where the mesocyclone area is. And again, we've kind of got some hot greens, not really that hot of reds. It's not really super organized, but again, the way conditions are favorable for today, even something like this, again, could still produce at least some type of tornadic activity. And again, it's basically tracking towards the Stafford area. Of course, Clinton being right back over in here. There's the I-40 corridor. So again, this is a storm we'll continue to track. There's Mike. He's got eyes on it. And again, kind of off there in the distance, you can still kind of see some scud clouds on that storm, Mike. So it's still looking at least fairly ominous there in the distance. But go ahead and give us a live update on that storm.
Yes, and we're looking right now. In fact, what you're seeing is the scud is actually, we see the broad center right there is rotating, and it did appear like it was trying to pull it some minute ago, and then it kind of dissipated right now. But again, it's very much so rotating. This is not done. Please, if you live in these areas, especially at Foss, it looks like it's going to be sitting right on top of Clinton Lake area right now. We're cutting into Burns Flat right now. It's going to be just to your north in Burns Flat. So Burns Flat, you're going to be in the clear of this, it looks like. But points farther to the north and east, this thing is a no-joke storm. It's still, it's cycling. It cycles up and cycles down. But this storm is still very much so going on. It's still got a lot of rotation. It's still very much so receiving a lot of this moisture that came in from the Gulf earlier. It is not going anywhere at this time.
Mike, we're getting some pretty significant damage reports now south of Elk City. We're getting some fairly significant damage reports south of Elk City. So for our friends out there in Elk City, definitely keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Again, we don't have anything confirmed any more than just damage reports coming in. It's a fairly rural area out there south of Elk City. That's basically Highway 6. We were talking about that Highway 6 corridor and Highway 152 corridor again earlier this evening, but we're getting at least some reports here. And I know, Mike, you guys have also ran across some damage as well. But again, south of Elk City, we're getting some damage reports coming in. So for our friends out there, definitely keep them in your thoughts and prayers, because there were definitely people affected. That tornado, we've had it here the whole night. That was definitely on the ground. There's no doubt about it. And obviously now it's, we're kind of seeing the aftermath with some damage and such out there. So we'll have more updates on that coming up. But again, this tornado warning, it does continue from the Foss area back up through Stafford, Clinton, all the way back up through Arapahoe. And again, this is going to be out here in Custer County. So let's go take a look at velocities here. And again, as we do that, we still got a couplet here. Again, rotation still not at the level that it was out, again, when it was south of Elk City. But again, this storm still means business. We're still looking at Mike's video there of the storm. What I want to do, I want to kind of widen this out a little bit. And I know Trey Smith, our other storm tracker, he's still on the severe warned storm. We'll talk about this one quickly as well. We've got his live video coming in, and this is going to be up here in Dewey County. But Trey, hey, give us an update on that storm. It's no longer tornado warned. It's only a severe thunderstorm warning. But give us a live update on that storm.
Yeah, it's kind of just gusting out a little bit. From time to time, it'll look really impressive again, but it's really not holding together as well as the southern storm is.
It even looks like the overall hail core. Again, the hail core is going to be just east of Camargo. And compared to earlier, the hail core, this is definitely, there's still some broad area spin, but there's no doubt that that's definitely a weakening storm. There's no doubt about it. Again, you're looking at Trey's video there on the right-hand side of the screen. Again, right now, for all intents and purposes, it's really all been about the supercell down here in southwestern Oklahoma. Mike, you're coming back kind of in range. We're starting to get kind of another look at it. But Trey,
William?
Yeah, Trey, go ahead.
Well, do you want me to jump south and help Mike?
Yeah, if you want to, Trey. Yeah, absolutely. Feel free. If you want to go and jump on that southern storm, go ahead. Go ahead and jump on down there.
We're going to go to Thomas and head south from Thomas.
That would be perfect. That would absolutely be perfect. Then we'll continue to track this storm as it comes on in. And like I said, we'll talk more about the damage south of Elk City. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on this evening. But again, just keep those fellow Oklahomans out there south of Elk City in your thoughts and prayers. Again, there's been some damage. There's been some tornado damage out there. And again, we don't have reports of anything more substantial than that right now. But Mike, go ahead and give us a live update. You're still looking at that storm. Again, looks like you're, go and tell us exactly where you are now. I think you're still in the Canute area. The storm still looks fairly raggedy, nowhere near as impressive as it was earlier. But again, tornado warning continues regardless. But give us a live update on that storm.
William, we are just north of Burns Flat. We're coming up the road now. We're heading towards Foss. This storm does not appear to be done yet by any means. I know it keeps cycling on us. And ladies and gentlemen, one thing we're finding out as we're running through these areas right now, these towns, a lot of people are without power out here in western Oklahoma. We're getting reports that Weatherford, Clinton, Elk City, Canute, there's a lot of places without power. Burns Flat's without power. If you have anybody in the path of this storm, please call them. Let them know that this storm is meaning business. Get to their tornado safe spot because this storm apparently has been knocking out power as it's been going here in western Oklahoma as well. But William, we're still seeing a lot of rotation, a lot of power on this storm. It is not over by any means. It just keeps cycling up and down, William.
The main area of spin now, Mike, it's up in the Stafford area. So if you remember, the storm, it was producing a tornado, and I think it was a hopscotch and maybe a tornado that was on the ground for 15 minutes there south of Elk City, right? So then if you remember, if you were joining our coverage at that point in time, it stalled right over Canute, it stalled, and then it turned northeast. And ever since then, it's been lifting northeast. It's still doing that. The area of spin, and it's real raggedy. Again, it's not to take away from the threat. If there's a tornado warning, you want to take your tornado precautions. We're just kind of analyzing these storms in real time, but it's a lot more raggedy than it was earlier. Again, earlier we had a hook, we had a centrifuge effect, and we had a donut hole, and that's when I basically locked onto it from radar from here, and it was on the ground. We were tracking it fairly carefully. It's nowhere near that level right now. It's looking fairly raggedy here. It's moving through the Stafford area, but again, a tornado warning continues. There's still a fairly broad area of spin, and again, conditions are still favorable again for some type of tornadic activity. Again, tornado watch continues again until 10 p.m. this evening. As we take a look at our mesocyclone rate product here, again, anytime you have the bluish color, that's letting you know there's some areas of concern. Once you start getting to the greens, once you start getting to the yellows, and even earlier when we had the oranges, that's letting you know there's tornadic activity likely, and again, it could be on the medium side of things. That's what we had earlier. Again, you can see we don't have that at all, but we still have some blue, which still is letting us know it's concerning, and there could still possibly be some tornadic activity. This is what the computer, it's kind of a computer-derived product, what the computer what the computer thinks is going on within the storm. So again, that's why we continue to track it. Mike's video is still right there on it. But Mike, again, we're still kind of taking this moment by moment. The tornado warning continues there. I think right now it's most likely lifted. I don't think it's on the ground. I probably don't think it's been on the ground for the last 10 to 15 minutes, but you're still looking at the storm. Go ahead and give us a live update and kind of a play-by-play with what you guys are seeing there.
Yes, William. We're just south of Foss, Oklahoma right now, and we're looking back towards the Stafford area, and there is a fairly impressive wall cloud. It should be in the shot here. It's kind of a little bit raggedy right now. However, it's still spinning very violently. It can still produce. I mean, it's not anything to take lightly. The storm has come down a little bit.
We're getting a couple high velocity pixels now, Mike. We're getting a couple high velocity pixels. This is going to be 3 east rather of Stafford. This is going to be 3 east of Stafford. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 north of I-40. We're getting a couple high velocity pixels now, Mike. And, there's definitely an area of spin here. This is going to be just east of Stafford, folks, and this is going to be coming on into the Clinton area. So you folks out there in Clinton, that's kind of a larger, town out there in western Oklahoma. Also Arapahoe, you folks right there along 183. This is a heads up for you folks out there. Mike, how far away from I-40 are you guys right now?
We're about a mile to the south of I-40.
When you get on I-40, I would track eastbound.
So we're fixing to come into the Foss area. I mean, we see it, William. We don't see anything on the ground, but it is rotating. It is a very, very intense wall cloud that we're seeing here.
See if you're able to center up that shot just a little bit, Mike.
Yet.
Hey, Mike, see if you can center up that shot. I know there's a lot of trees. Those are out of your control. See if you can maybe center up that shot just a little bit, because it's kind of ticked up a little bit. It's ticked up. And so we want to track this carefully, especially for our friends Clinton and Arapahoe, Highway 183. Of course, Clinton and then Weatherford being right back over in here, kind of larger communities out there off of I-40. And so we're tracking this here again very carefully. We've just got a new scan coming in there. We'll take a look at velocities on that. So kind of a dynamic situation coming on here. Mike's about to be on I-40. And then, Mike, if you can, just track east out there towards 183. So we're looking at it right there. Basically, he's looking off. So there's Mike and Jesse. They're tracking up towards I-40. So they're shooting off there. That's their GPS there to the northeast. So again, that's the storm we're looking at there. They have their camera kind of tilted around. So we see kind of the moving rain curtains there. And Mike, some of your shot there, it's kind of out of range. We're not able to see it. But again, as you're looking at it, go ahead and kind of give us a live update with what you're seeing. And again, more damage reports continue to come in here as well from the Elk City area. But Mike, go ahead and give us a live update on that.
Yes, William. We're hopping on I-40 right now. We're heading eastbound. Again, we're looking at a very impressive wall cloud right now. There's a lot of rising motion into this thing. We're seeing some scud clouds off to the a little bit to the west of it, and it's just feeding into this thing right now. This thing is still breathing. But this wall cloud is fairly intense. It is rotating. Every now and then it looks like we see like a funnel or something, but it's not coming down past the cloud deck here. So it's still trying though. I would not be surprised if this thing doesn't go ahead and make a tornado here very shortly. So please, people, get in your safe spot. If you're in the Stafford area, Clinton area, Arapahoe, this storm still means business. It is not a joke of a storm by any means, William.
More reports coming in, Mike, out in the Elk City area, and it looks like there's some people trapped out there now. We're just getting reports here from fire rescue out there. This is going to be south of Elk City. It's not going to be in Elk City proper, south of Elk City. And again, people trapped out there. So this is where that tornado, this is the same storm we're dealing with now. This is where that tornado was on the ground earlier. Could have been a medium-sized tornado. And so people trapped out there now. So lots of not good reports coming in out there south of Elk City. So again, keep those fellow Oklahomans in your thoughts and prayers. Again, possible EF2, maybe EF3 type tornado, depending on the damage they find out there. But wind-wise, possible out there south of the Elk City area. Again, that was just a little bit earlier this evening. So we continue with a tornado warning here. This is primarily going to be in Ouachita and Custer County, primarily Custer County here now. And in general, the area of rotation tracking towards the Clinton area, also Arapahoe, basically towards the Highway 183 area. Mike and Jesse are lead storm trackers there. You see their video on the right-hand side of your screen. And this storm, it still got rotation with it. It's raggedy. It's nowhere near the amount of spin that it had earlier, again, when it was producing that possible medium-sized tornado that, again, we're now getting the damage reports, and unfortunately people still trapped south of Elk City. But again, this still at least has some vigorous rotation. This is still one you have to take seriously. And again, a tornado warning regardless, again, still continues with this storm. Clinton all the way back up through the Arapahoe area right there on 183. So, Mike, you're still looking at it. Dynamic pictures coming in there. You're on I-40 there around the Foss area. You're shooting to the east now on I-40. You're going to get there to that 183 junction, and then we'll be able to look back to the west at this. But again, for you folks there in Clinton and Arapahoe, I know Clinton's kind of a larger city out there in western Oklahoma. You folks have got to be taking your tornado precautions. Again, that's what we've been saying throughout the day, especially, earlier when we had really kind of locked onto that South of Elk City. We kept kind of saying it over and over. You've just got to be taking your tornado precautions. A lot of times in Oklahoma, we get tornado warnings. We go out to the front porch and look around. But again, today is not one of those days to do it. And again, like we've been saying throughout the day, there's been an opportunity for strong tornadoes, and I think we had a medium to strong tornado south of Elk City. And again, we're still kind of gathering information on exactly what's going on out there. So we're still looking at the structure on the storm, I-40 there, Mike. Go ahead and give us a live update. Again, you're east of Foss now in the I-40 area.
Yes, William. We are actually just to the west of Clinton, Oklahoma right now, and we are seeing the wall cloud. It's still rotating. It's not as defined as it was earlier, but it's still there. It's still got rotation. We are definitely watching it. However, the thing that's starting to concern me is the wall cloud is starting to try to get wrapped up with some precipitation right now, and that makes it very difficult to see anything if a tornado were to develop, William.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Mike. Sorry, I was just looking at some new information coming in here. Tornado warning continues here, folks, but I'm still telling you, this is nowhere near wrapped up as it was earlier. It's not to take away from the threat. It's not to take away from not taking your tornado precautions. You need to be doing that. But again, if you were joining us earlier when that was moving south of Elk City, again, we had a big hook, we had a centrifuge effect, and we had a donut hole. And that, kind of textbook wise, I mean, that's normally signs of a medium-sized tornado. And again, the reports that continue to come in here to the forecast center, that's probably what happened again south of Elk City. Again, folks were getting reports of still being trapped, and again, some fairly significant damage, especially to mobile homes south of Elk City out there in western Oklahoma. Mike and Jesse, they also ran across some damage again as they were kind of east of that area as well. And so now we're still tracking the storm. It's now moving up towards the Clinton area. And again, we're still just kind of looking at Mike and Jesse's video. This storm nowhere near the intensity that it was earlier. Again, it's not to take away from the tornado warning. I'll be interested to see what the Weather Service does if they decide to extend that tornado warning or not. But again, we'll continue to kind of take this moment by moment. But Mike, you're still looking at this. And again, we're just kind of using your eyes in the field there. You're kind of the expert out there in the field. You've been tracking the storm from the Texas Panhandle now into portions of west central Oklahoma. The overall intensity here, it's definitely come down some. But again, go ahead and give us kind of a live update, kind of a play-by-play with what you're seeing out there in the field.
Yes, William. We're just to the west of Clinton right now. In fact, we're about 3 miles west of Clinton, and there is still a wall cloud. It is still rotating. It's a little bit out of our shot right now. I can't do anything about the angle on that right now. But this storm is still rotating. It's still very violent. It looks like, to me right now, it looks like it's going to go just north of Clinton, Oklahoma right now. But that puts it right in track for Arapahoe, Oklahoma. So if you're in Arapahoe, please get ready to take your tornado precautions, or anywhere between Arapahoe and Clinton. This storm is, again, still a very, very serious storm. It is not a judgment storm. I know the rotation has come down a little bit, but again, it almost looks like it's trying to ramp back up, William, again here as we're looking at it just on a ground visual. So again, that's kind of one of my concerns, is that the storm is still breathing. We talk about it coming down in intensity, and then it comes right back up. So this is so very intense, William.
Okay, we'll continue to track that. Let's do this. I know Trey's on the northern side. He dropped off. He was on the tornado warned storm there across portions of Roger Mills County. He's dropping now to the south on this storm as well. And Trey, it looks like you're up there on maybe 183, or tell us where you are. I'm looking at your live GPS. Looks like you're just east of 183. Looks like maybe you're there on Highway 47. But go ahead and give us a live update. We're looking at your video. Looks like you're involved in a lot of that rain there. But go ahead and give us an update on that storm from your location. Trey, are you on the live line with us?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure whether you're about to lose me or not. Yeah, I'm on the northern sides of the storm. I'm on 47. I'm heading towards the Thomas area to try and get out ahead of this, get some gas, and get ahead of this. But yeah, the rain's really picking up here. Looks like I'm gonna core punch this thing. So.
Okay,
Get ahead of it.
you're up there. The main hail core looks like it's still going to stay just to your south. In general, it's going to be tracking up towards Thomas, but the main hail core, it's still going to be just to your south. And the hail core, by the way, it is getting a little bit smaller. Now, we're looking at Mike's video again, and again, he's going to be coming into the Clinton area. Looks like heavy rain. He's kind of got the better advantage of the storm only because he's on the southern side. Trey's dropping in from the north, and again, Mike's able to kind of look at the mesocyclone or the area that would be the concern for any type of tornadic activity where he is. But again, Mike, as you're looking at that, we're seeing a lot of dynamics. We're still kind of seeing the rain curtains there. Are you seeing any kind of wrapping rain curtains or still any kind of spin within the storm? Because even as I continue to look at radar here, it's still got a broad mesocyclone. But again, the overall spin rate within the storm, it kind of continues to spin down. But again, Clinton all the way up through Arapahoe, again, that's where at least the immediate tornado concern is right now, Mike.
Yes, that is correct, William. We're actually looking at it right now, and it is very much so. It looks like it's trying to ramp back up again here. The rotation is coming back down. We've definitely got a dry spot here. It is definitely picking back up. Very intense storm. If you're in the Arapahoe area, I would be taking your tornado precautions. This is coming right up your way. Again, it looks very intense at the moment.
Okay, so the Weather Service, they're going to go and extend that tornado warning, Mike. They're going to go and extend it for the Clinton, Arapahoe, all the way back over through the Indianapolis area, all the way back up through Custer City. So that's going to be a brand new tornado warning here. The Weather Services, they're going to go and extend this. And again, this is going to be until 8:30 this evening. So again, it's a storm that Mike's on right now. We continue to track it. We've basically tracked this storm out of the Texas Panhandle, now really all the way across portions of southwestern and now into portions of west central Oklahoma. But again, that's going to be a brand new tornado warning here. Custer County, the only tornado warning currently in Oklahoma. And again, that's going to be in effect until 8:30 this evening. Mike Russ, our lead storm tracker, he's got eyes on it. Trey Smith also on the northern sides of this storm. So we've got it double covered with live video and, of course, our live trackers here as well. There's still at least some intermittent spin within this storm, but the overall intensity compared to earlier, it has come down. The storm did produce a tornado south of Elk City. It could have been medium size. We have multiple reports now of damage and also people actually trapped in structures south of Elk City. Again, this is the same storm here. However, again, as the storm has continued to now kind of track more to the northeast, the overall intensity, it has weakened. But again, regardless, there is a brand new tornado warning in effect. And again, that tornado warning, it does include the Clinton area, all the way up through Arapahoe, Indianapolis, and then also back up through Custer City as well. So again, brand new tornado warning right there. If you live in kind of that red area, you've got to take your immediate tornado precautions. And again, today is really not one of those days to take lightly. Even with that, the same storm as it was down near Elk City, it kind of looked like it was weakening a little bit and then it really ramped up. And again, now it looks like it probably produced a medium-sized tornado. So again, with this tornado warning in effect, you don't want to take this lightly. You want to go take your immediate tornado precautions. Again, you can watch us on our mobile app. If you're watching us on Roku or Apple TV or Amazon Fire TV, again, you can also watch us on our mobile app. Just take us, but go get safe. Go somewhere and get safe. Take your immediate tornado precautions. And again, Mike and Jesse, they're still looking at this storm. So Mike, we're still looking at your live video here. Again, we're still taking this kind of moment by moment with that brand new tornado warning in
Yes,
effect.
William, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead. Mike, you're live. Go.
Okay. Yes, William. We are actually in the town of Clinton, Oklahoma right now. This thing just started sucking in intensely right here in Clinton. Right here, we're right here on the 183 corridor, South 4th Street in Clinton, Oklahoma. We're going to be shooting north of Clinton. This thing, the rotation has come up again. This thing still means business. The wild card is getting more and more pronounced as we speak. We will have a little better shot in just a couple minutes here. And I know they just reissued this tornado warning, and that is a good thing. This storm still means business. It is not done by any means. In fact, and Clinton is without power. So yes, this storm, William, these storms have been knocking the power out to western Oklahoma. So these people do not know what's going on please, if you have family in these areas, notify them, get them underground. These storms are no joke by any means.
The area of spin now, Mike, the area of spin is basically right over Arapahoe. Now, this is still a fairly broad area of spin. It's nowhere near as tight as it was earlier, but, tornado warning in effect, the area of spin, it's right over the Arapahoe area. It's right there on Highway 183, right over Arapahoe. And again, as we take a look at our spin rate product here, again, it's still not super cranked up as we take a look at velocities. Again, we're looking at the area of spin there, lower levels. Let's kind of move the radar beam up a little bit with height. And again, even as we do that, we're still getting at least some areas of broad spin. Again, nowhere near the level that it was at earlier, Mike. I'm not sure. Your video may be locked up, Mike. We'll kind of switch this around a little bit here and see if we can't refresh your video. And there we go. So it looks like it's coming in now. So there we got it. So it looks like you're in the Clinton area and now maybe north of the Clinton area. So you're looking at that storm. Again, you're still our eyes kind of in the field there. But go ahead and give us another live update. And again, as that area of spin moves directly through the Arapahoe area. Mike, you're still on the live line with us. Go ahead.
Here. We're on 183 north right now.
And we've still got you, Mike. I know you guys are kind of talking about what you're seeing there, so we're just kind of taking this moment by moment, folks. And again, keep in mind this area of spin. It is in an area of heavy rain, so it's a little bit hard to see. So Mike and Jesse, they're kind of making out there exactly what they're seeing ahead of them. So we're just kind of taking this moment by moment with them. Still a real broad area of spin, but not anything real super tight. There's some big hail north of Arapahoe. If you go 183 north of Arapahoe, that's going to be tracking towards Custer City. There's going to be some real big hail tracking towards Custer City. That could easily be golf ball size hail tracking towards Custer City. But again, as we go back to velocities, general spin there. But Mike, you're still on the live line. We're still looking at your video. You're the one actually looking at the storm in real time. So go ahead and give us that live update.
Yes, William. It looks like, as we're watching the mesos, it looks like the rotation is going to be right on top of Arapahoe right now. And the problem we're having is we are now socked in with rain. We can see the outer edges of what appears to be a wall cloud. It is rotating. However, we are being socked in with rain right now. So that makes it.
Okay, so we're going to continue to track it. I think we're kind of losing Mike's audio there just a little bit, but we've still got his video. Hey, Trey Smith, are you still on the live line with us? I know you're on the northern sides of this storm. Let me know if you're still on the live line. I think you're up there near the Thomas area.
Yeah, I'm in Thomas right now. I can look back to my west-southwest, and I can see the area of rain-free area where the wall cloud would be right now. I do not see anything on the ground, but I'm not close enough to see how well this is rotating or how fast this is rotating.
Okay, so Trey Smith up there in the Thomas area. And what about any hail? Have you ran into any hail? I think the hail core is going to be just south and west of you, Trey, but you're kind of up there more in the heavier precipitation area. Are you running into any hail up in that area?
Not at the moment.
Okay, yeah, I think the main hail
core. My precipitation is getting a little bit light.
Is it? Okay. It looks like the main core, I think, is still just kind of down to your southwest there, just a little bit. So we'll go back to Mike and Jesse. Again, they're on the southern sides of the storm. They're looking at the mesocyclone itself. And guys, you're still on the live line here with us. Mike, go and give us another update on this storm. Again, we're still just taking this second by second. This is the only tornado warning in Oklahoma. And real quickly here, what I want to do, let's go and zoom this out, and let's go and take a look at the overview across Oklahoma. So again, if you're just now joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, this is what we have going on. So we have one tornado warning, and this is going to be for Custer County. And again, this is basically a long track supercell now. It formed out in the Texas Panhandle. It tracked through portions of southwestern Oklahoma. It did produce some tornadic activity south of the Elk City area out in Beckham County. Tornado was maybe on the ground for 10 to 15 minutes. I had a fairly good lock on it here. Our storm trackers were also on the field. It may have been a hopscotch tornado from time to time. It then really got up to the Canute area. The supercell itself stalled out. The tornado lifted, and then the storm actually turned hard to the northeast. So it's now tracking northeast, and it's now up into portions of Custer County. And again, tornado warning continues there. We'll take another look at it. Again, this is the live video, 2 storm trackers on it. And then we continue with the severe thunderstorm warning down here in Kiowa County. And again, that's primarily going to be for large hail. Our other tornado warned storm from earlier that tried to produce some tornadic activity, again, that's now only a severe thunderstorm. That's going to be in far northern Dewey, moving into portions of Major County. We'll take a look at that one here coming up in just a minute as well. So Mike, you're still on the live line. It looks like you're involved in some fairly heavy precipitation out there in the Clinton area. We'll zoom back in again. This is our only tornado warned storm in the state. So right now, that's the one we're going to focus on. But Mike, you're still on the live line with us here. Go ahead and give us a live update with what you're seeing out there north of the Clinton area now. And we may have lost Mike momentarily. Mike, are you still on the live line with us? Okay, so we may have temporarily lost Mike. We still have his video there, so we're going to still continue to kind of look at his video and watch his video. But what we're going to do while we lost Mike for just a second, I want to go and take a look at these other storms real quickly here as well. Again, these are only severe warned, but again, down here, really across portions of Kiowa County, brand new severe thunderstorm warning here. This is going to be for Godebo, all the way back through Hobart, all the way back down through Babs and Lugert. And again, that's a severe thunderstorm warning there. That was just issued. That's going to be until 8:45 this evening. Quarter size hail, winds to 60 miles per hour. So, of course, we'll track that one. And then again, we have the tornado warned storm there across portions of Custer County. We'll take another look at that. That's the storm, again, that's on the right-hand side of your screen with two storm trackers on it. And then this storm here, it continues to weaken. Again, this was a tornado warned storm as it moved into Oklahoma. Current severe thunderstorm warning in effect, basically over the ceiling area, back up through Chester, moving into portions of Major County there. Again, there will be an opportunity with that storm for some $quarter to $half size hail, and again, some winds 65, 70 miles per hour. But again, the overall threat definitely easing on down with that storm right there. And again, really the one storm we're really focused in on. And again, this storm has done some damage. We covered the South of Elk City. We have damage reported now south of Elk City. We've had some reports of people actually trapped in structures. So not a good situation. So for our fellow Oklahomans down there in Elk City, definitely keep them in your thoughts and prayers. There's definitely some damage and some things going on down there. That's just the hold music kicking in there where storm trackers dropped off the live line. If you heard that there for a second, that's just kind of the hold music that plays when nobody's on the live line. So again, we're continuing to track this tornado warned storm. We've got video of it. Mike Russ, one of our storm trackers, he'll be back on the live line here in just a second as we continue to kind of track this storm there in Custer County. But again, tornado warning continues in the Indianapolis area all the way back up through Custer City, and it does include Arapahoe as well. So let's go and take a look at the velocities here. And this is the spin within the storm. And folks, the one thing I can tell you, even though there is a tornado warning in effect here, and this is not to take away from the tornado warning at all, the area of spin is nowhere near as intense as it was earlier. There's still a fairly broad area of spin. We're continuing to track it. Even our mesocyclone rate product, you kind of see that area of blue. That's just letting you know that there's an area of concern there that the computer's tracking. Once you start getting into the greens and the yellows and the oranges like we had earlier, that's when there's at least a better indication that there could be some type of tornadic activity. But again, that area of spin, that mesocyclone area, again, just north of Arapahoe there on Highway 183. And again, you can also see it here, even on reflectivity, the area of spin here within the storm. And again, I know this sounds kind of elementary, but when you have kind of the brighter reds and the brighter greens and they're tighter together, that's what you look for. That's what we had earlier. And again, right now, we know we're near that level, but again, still kind of a broad area of spin. And again, that's why that tornado warning does continue there. So again, definitely make sure you're taking your tornado precautions. Again, if you live in the Custer City area, all the way back down through Indianapolis and even back over through the Arapahoe area as well. Again, we're primarily talking about Custer County out there in western Oklahoma. So let's go and kind of widen the view out here, and we'll kind of take a look at everything as a whole here, and we'll put this back into a reflectivity mode. Again, we'll be checking back in with our team of trackers here momentarily. We've still got their video coming in, but and I'm also looking at damage reports that continue to come in here as well. And again, as we put this into motion here, the one thing to keep in mind, especially for central Oklahoma, we continue to track what's going on now. This activity, as expected, it's going to continue to try and weaken as we get a little bit deeper into the evening, going on 8 p.m., just after 8 p.m. now. And this is going to try and kind of weaken and kind of fizzle on out. And then we're going to have a secondary line of storms as the main jet stream storm system approaches Oklahoma deeper into the evening, into the overnight. And then we'll actually have a line of storms come through overnight. Now, that line of storms, there will be a risk of some hail, mainly $half to possibly some golf ball size hail, and then also winds 70 to near 80 miles per hour would be possible with that secondary line of storms. Again, as we go through the evening and the overnight, the overall tornado threat with that activity, it would be on the lower side of things, especially compared to, again, what we're seeing out there in western Oklahoma, again, right now. So let's go and zoom back in on our only tornado warned storm. And again, as soon as our storm trackers are back on the live line, again, we'll go and talk to them as well. But again, right now, both of them, they're just kind of dropped off and they may be taking a quick break. Again, they've kind of been tracking this activity out there, really for several hours now. So they may have stopped at the gas station to take, a quick break or something like that real quick. But again, we continue to track at least this one tornado warned storm here. Again, we do have 2 storm trackers on it. We got video from both of them coming in. And let's go and take a look at the spin within the storm. And it looks like the spin rates actually come up just a little bit now south of Custer City. And so not so much there on the mesocyclone rate, but on just the actual kind of old-fashioned velocities, we're getting a couple pixels here that are just a little bit hotter or a little bit brighter than others. And let's see what we have here. So we've got, we at least have one woman that's been rescued now out in Elk City. So that would be good news. Again, just information just coming in here to the forecast center. And so she had to be rescued out of a collapsed home out there in Elk City, and she's now on her way to the hospital. So again, lots of reports coming in out there around the Elk City area. We're kind of relaying that information as we get it in here. But again, kind of not a good situation there south of Elk City. So this area of spin, though, here south of Custer City, at least over the last 10 minutes, this is at least the most invigorated it's been, again, over the last 10 minutes or so. And again, like I said, as soon as our team of trackers jumps back on the live line, we'll check back in with them. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We've been on the air here for probably about 2 hours. We're going to take a quick break here as well, just about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back, and again, we'll continue our coverage here, again, with only one tornado warning currently in effect there in western Oklahoma. All right, folks, we'll go and pick up on our live coverage here. Our team of trackers, they'll be calling back in here in just a second. While they were kind of dropping off the live line for a quick break, I took a quick break just to get a quick drink of water there, grab a water bottle, because like I said, we've kind of been on the air here for about 2 hours nonstop. So Mike and Jesse, again, they're still on the storm. Also, Trey Smith will be talking with both of those trackers coming up here in just a minute. But I do want to continue to track this storm carefully. Again, we're talking about portions of really Custer County here, only for the fact the area of spin has come up just slightly here over the last 5 minutes or so. And again, this tornado warning, at least officially here from the Weather Service, again, it does continue until 8:30 this evening. So that's going to, for at least about another 15 minutes or so. The hail core also coming up on this storm a little bit as well. Now, keep in mind, nowhere near the levels it was earlier when it moved through portions of Elk City, when it looks like now, or at least the southern sides of Elk City, I should say, or at least now it looks like there's been at least maybe some significant damage. And possibly even a few injuries there south of the Elk City area. We continue to kind of gather information on that situation that's developing there. But again, right now in Custer County, this is, again, the only current tornado warning in Oklahoma. And again, tornado warning right there around the Custer City area, and then also north of the Indianapolis area. And as we go back to velocities here, again, basically just kind of looking at the spin within the storm, area of spin basically right over Custer City now. And again, as we're looking at also our what we call the mesocyclone rate product, this is kind of a computer-derived product there. The computer kind of telling us what it's seen within the storm. Again, right now, the way it looks, not super impressive, especially compared to earlier what we had. So there's Mike and Jesse's video. It looks like it's back up. I think it was actually stalled or frozen there for just a second. And again, they're right there south of Custer City. And again, they continue to look at this storm as well. Like I said, they'll be joining us back here on the live line momentarily as well. What I want to do, I want to kind of zoom out from this real quick, and I want to take a look at our other two severe storms in Oklahoma. This one down here near the Hobart and Babs area, crossing Highway 183. Some quarter-size hail, winds near 60 miles per hour possible with that storm there. And then also back up to the north here, back up here near the Sealing area. This is also a severe storm, Sealing back up through Chester. And again, an opportunity for some half-dollar size hail could be quite possible with that storm. And then as we kind of widen out the view, we just have our one lone tornado warning. And again, this is going to be out here near the Custer City area. And again, this is going to be out here in Custer County, but the main area of spin basically going through the Custer City area. So we kind of keep toggling back and forth here between velocities and our mesocyclone spin rate. Of course, we have two storm trackers there in the area. You see the little red dots, Mike and Jesse, and also Trey Smith up there in the Thomas area. And again, they've all kind of been covering weather as we've gone through the evening, so I think they're maybe just taking a quick little break. But we continue to look at the storm here near the Custer City area. And I think we've got somebody back on the live line. I don't know if that's Mike and Jesse or if that's Trey, but whoever that is there, go. Yeah, Trey, go ahead. So let's go and take a look at your video. You're up there in the Thomas area. Kind of give us an update on the storm. It looks like there's at least some heavy precipitation, and at least the hail core is getting a little bit closer to you up there in the Thomas area. But go and give us a live update.
I really don't know what's going on. I just got back in my car. We had stopped for gas and used the restroom real quick. Right now I'm trying to find actually, I probably don't even need to move. I just need to sit. Go west out of town a little bit and sit and watch this thing.
Yeah, it looks like kind of the hail core is tracking right towards you now. The hail core is quite a bit smaller than earlier, but you know, just keep in mind there could easily be some golf ball size hail in this storm. So you may want to stay at the gas station if you can and try and kind of like ride it out. You know, kind of underneath the platform or whatnot. So that way, you know, this hail, because you don't want your windows busted out. And again, this is, you know, some of these storms as we've gone through the day, we've had some, you know, baseball, tennis ball, and even grapefruit size hail. We get big hail in Oklahoma, but even by Oklahoma standards, I mean, that's kind of on the larger side of things. And so, you know, if you can stay at the gas station, kind of ride it out there, that might be the best thing. We can take your video, we can look at it live as it comes through. But again, that way you're, you know, you're not actually, you know, possibly getting your window blown out with that large hail. So I want to take a look at velocities again here real quick. This tornado warning continues, but again, just looking at the velocities here, they're still just not that impressive. Again, you still want to be taking your tornado precautions. There's no doubt about it. But again, as we just kind of analyze the storm here kind of in real time as we're looking at the radar data coming in, again, compared to where it was earlier, it's just still really not that impressive. I don't think there's at least an immediate risk of a tornado on the ground. But again, keep in mind, you know, conditions can change quickly, just like we saw earlier. And again, fast changing weather conditions, again, that's what we're used to here in Oklahoma. So again, we'll continue to track this, and at least for another 15 minutes, again, with that tornado warning that does continue there. Also, just a quick update out in the Elk City area. Again, we continue to get reports of damage coming in, again, from the Elk City area. That's where we did have what possibly could have been a medium-sized tornado, EF2, EF3 type tornado. Here's Elk City right there off of I-40, just south of Elk City. Again, we had at least some significant damage. That's the reports coming in right now, possibly some injuries. That's some of the information just now coming in as well. We've had to have a couple people rescued from some structures out there. And again, at least one woman was safely rescued from a structure. Her home collapsed on her, and she was taken to the hospital. So we're continuing to gather information on that, but that'll be a storyline that we're tracking this evening and tomorrow as well, for sure. So again, not a good situation out there. Now I think we've got somebody else here back on the live line. Is that Mike? Are you back on the live line with us? Or that may still be Trey. Trey, are you still on the live line with us? Okay, we'll check back on the live line. I know we've got people on there. We'll check back on the live line coming up here in just a second. So there's Trey's shot. Again, he's up there in the Thomas area, so he's going to be on the northern sides of this storm. And again, Mike and Jesse, they're basically down there kind of in the mesocyclone area, the area where we have some spin on this storm. And guys, who's on the live line here with us?
Here.
Mike, go
Trey
ahead.
here.
Yeah, Mike, hey, go ahead and give us an update. I know you dropped off there just for a second. I know you're still on the southern sides of this storm. Trey's about to have the big hail move through in his area, so we'll look at the hail as it comes through. But Mike, you're still down there kind of on the mesocyclone side of the storm. And, you know, for a brief moment in time, it wrapped up just slightly. It started to kind of intensify a little bit, but it still looks, you know, fairly wimpy as far as rotation goes. But we're looking at your video. You've got eyes on it. So go ahead and give us a live update on it.
Yes, William. We do still have a lowering right now, a very scraggly wall cloud at the moment. It's off to our northwest at the moment. It is still rotating. It's not as impressive as it was earlier. However, I can tell you it's still breathing. It's still trying. But at this time, I'm not seeing anything to warrant anything too severe to worry about at this time. I don't want to downplay it by any means because it's still there. It's still a broad area of rotation. It's still a broad wall cloud, but it's very scraggly. It's very broken up. It's not as impressive as it was earlier this evening.
Hey, Trey. Mike, I hate to interrupt you for just 1 second, but hey, Trey, you're up there in Thomas. We just got a report here into the forecast center. It looks like there was some kind of a power surge up in Thomas, and they're saying that the sirens have failed. Now, Thomas officially is not in the tornado warning, but is Thomas right now without power? Are you able to confirm that? Apparently, there was some type of a power surge in the Thomas area. The tornado sirens have failed. Again, Thomas, you're not actually in the tornado warning, but Trey, you're up there in Thomas. Is Thomas dark right now? Has the power failed up there?
No. I mean, I'm just now west of Thomas a little bit, and I got a couple of streetlights on at a couple of houses out here.
Okay.
But
so
as far as the city, I don't know, but there was 3 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes that were really close.
Okay.
A while ago.
Okay,
so they could have hit something.
That was just the report here we got, I guess, from the emergency manager up there. And again, they're saying that there was a power surge. There's no power in the town of Thomas, and the tornado warnings our tornado sirens are unable to sound. Now, again, keep in mind, Thomas, you folks are not in the actual tornado warning. There is going to be a large hail core coming through. Again, that's where Trey Smith is. We'll be looking at his video as it comes through. But again, I just wanted to quickly pass that along as well. That the emergency manager up there, again, asking people again to take their tornado precautions in the town of Thomas. Again, there's a power surge, and the tornado sirens have failed. Keep in mind, Thomas is not officially in the tornado warning, but again, staying away from windows and at least taking your severe weather precautions. Definitely, within the realm there in the Thomas area, again, with that large hail coming in now from the west. So, Mike, you're still looking at the mesocyclone. Sorry to interrupt you there just a second ago. It looks like it's still fairly ragged. You're still down in the Clinton area, but tell us again exactly where you are now and go ahead and give us a live update.
Yes, William, we are just northwest Weatherford, Oklahoma right now. We do have a very strictly wall cloud at the time. It is still rotating, but I don't see the imminent threat at this time. In fact, here in just a minute, it's going to be where we can turn around and kind of show you exactly what we're talking about. It does look like the rotation has come way down on this storm, but William, it is coming down from ground level that we are seeing that it's not as impressive as it was earlier. That is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we're just kind of continuing to analyze these storms. We'll see what the Weather Service does at 8:30. Again, officially that tornado warning there continues until 8:30, and they might actually allow it to go ahead and expire then. And again, we'll continue to track again what's going on out there in Elk City, again with the damage south of town, again with that possible medium-sized tornado that again moved through the Elk City area, south of Elk City really. Again, that was a little bit earlier this evening. And again, as I kind of widen things out here, we currently have a couple additional severe storms around, but again, right now, we only have the 1 tornado warning. And again, that's going to be south of the Thomas area. We've got hail coming into Thomas. Trey, you may want to check your video. It looks like it might be stalled. And it looks like it might be stalled right now. And hey, Mike, I just saw your message coming in. If you guys could, that would be great, to be honest with you. In fact, I was going to mention that. If you guys could, that would be absolutely great. And, you know, Trey, I don't know if you can check your video just real quick, because I know you've got that hail core coming in. You know, you may want to check your video just so we can get that back up and to see what's coming in your area. And what we're going to do, okay, and what we're going to do, Mike and Jesse, they're about to actually head back out to Elk City. And again, you know, kind of what's unfolding out there south of town. They're right there off of I-40, so they'll be able to get out there fairly quickly, and we'll kind of be able to do a bit of a damage survey with them. But it's not good, I can tell you that right now, just with the reports coming in. And you know, we were tracking that live. It looked not good at the time, and just with some of the reports coming in, it's not good for our friends right now south of Elk City. And again, you've definitely got to keep them in your thoughts and prayers. So we only have one tornado warning in Oklahoma right now. I think this is going to be allowed to expire at 8:30. It's out here in Custer County. I don't think there's an imminent risk of a tornado right now, but again, regardless, there's a tornado warning in effect. So you've still got to be taking your tornado precautions out there. We have a report in the Thomas area up where Trey Smith is that apparently there was some type of a power surge up there. The tornado warning sirens have been knocked out. However, the actual town of Thomas, there's not actually a tornado warning in effect currently up there. But again, you know, as this hail core comes through, again, the small community of Thomas there, again, anytime you're talking about large hail, you definitely want to make sure, again, you're staying away from windows and things like that. Trey, can you check your video again? Because as that hail core's coming in, I'd like to take that live. It looks like it's kind of moving through right now. If your video's stalled, we'll kind of do what we can. And then it looks like Mike and Jesse, I think you guys are going to be heading back out towards Elk City. And so I'm just looking at some new stuff coming in here as well. So let me go and kind of widen out the view here. And sorry, we're kind of logistically doing some things here as well. With the storm trackers. And so let's go and widen out the view. And this is what we have going on almost 8:30 now. So we've got a couple severe storms and one tornado warning. The overall kind of intensity of everything, it's easing on down, okay? It's easing on down right now, but we do have that one tornado warning. Again, it's out there. This is in Custer County. We'll continue to track that. That's what Mike and Jesse are on. They've been on that storm all day. They basically tracked it out of the Texas Panhandle. It produced some hopscotch tornadic activity down across portions of Beckham County, and then I think it probably produced a medium-sized tornado that was on the ground just based off of radar for probably 10 to 15 minutes, probably EF2, EF3. Again, Mike and Jesse, they're about to head back down there. We're going to have live damage pictures and kind of an update of what's going on there. It's not good. Again, that's Elk City. It's out there off of I-40. And then we also continue with severe thunderstorm warnings, one down in Kiowa County. We'll take a look at that. And then also up across portions of Dewey, far western Major County, severe thunderstorm warnings there. Those are mainly hailstorms. And again, officially that tornado watch continues out there in western Oklahoma, again, until 10 p.m. this evening. So again, the only tornado warning, just to kind of recap, it's in effect for 5 more minutes. And again, we'll see what the Weather Service decides to do with that. But again, right now, it looks like the overall threat of tornadic activity with this storm continues to come down as we look at velocities, much more disorganized again than it was earlier there for sure. So like I said, our attention now really as we head a little bit deeper into the evening, it's definitely going to turn to again kind of the damage and what happened south of Elk City. There's going to be another opportunity for more storms tonight. I'll kind of widen this out, kind of give you the overview again of the thinking heading deeper into the evening. The overall tornado threat, it's really starting to wind down right now. I will tell you the storm up here near Leedy. Let's go and take another look at this one here. So it still looks, it's got a bit of a mesocyclone with it, but right now not too concerning. We just wanted to look at that one quickly only because it had a bit of a hook there. And again, keep in mind that tornado watch continues until 10 p.m. But really what we're tracking heading into the evening, this is going to be basically what happens. These storms, these supercells, as expected, they'll continue to weaken and they'll kind of fizzle out the closer we get to 10 p.m. Now, once we get to around 11 p.m. to midnight, the main upper level jet stream storm system, it's going to come out across Oklahoma. We're going to have a secondary line of storms form. That secondary line of storms, the tornado threat's going to be much lower. In fact, it's mainly going to be a wind and damaging hail threat as we go through the overnight period. But then that line of storms will basically move through Oklahoma as we go through the overnight period, approaching the Oklahoma City metro possibly 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, again with the hail and wind threat. So again, keep that in mind. This is kind of going to be 2 rounds of storms as we go through the day, the evening, and tonight. And again, these supercells currently out there in western Oklahoma, the overall plan right now, at least, that these should continue to kind of ease on down and weaken, again, the closer we get to 10 p.m. This evening. So with that being said, let's go and kind of widen this back out here. Again, we'll see what the Weather Service does here. Looks like they're going to go ahead and let that warning, that tornado warning there expire. Looks like they're going to go with the severe thunderstorm warning for Thomas Frey all the way back up through Watonga. The Watonga area up there in Blaine County, brand new severe thunderstorm warning there. And again, that's going to be in effect here until 8:45 this evening. So Mike, I know you guys are still in the live line. Let me know, have you guys already, it looks like you're actually, I see your GPS there. Are you guys dropping back to I-40? Let me know if you guys are already tracking back westbound now on I-40. And by the way, the tornado warning has just expired. Mike, are you guys still in the live line? Okay, we'll go up to Trey Smith. Looks like, Trey, we've still got your video up there around the Thomas area. What was the hail core like as it came through your area?
I'm sorry, to what?
What was the hail core like as it came through your area? It looks like that hail core passed right through your area just a few minutes ago. Give me an update on that. What was the hail core like as it came through? How big was the hail?
I didn't see any hail.
So you had no hail. Okay, well, maybe that's a good thing. But let's take a look at the hail core tracker here. And, you know, the overall, yeah, I mean, this storm, it just like I just mentioned, it's weakening big time. So the hail core tracker here, we have a little bit of smattering of blue. And so again, as that came through, this is the same storm that earlier produced baseball, tennis ball, and grapefruit size hail. And again, the hail core tracker now with that smattering of blue, that's maybe some intermittent peas and dimes in there. And, you know, like Trey said, he actually didn't even have any hail as it came on through. So that is a good thing, that again, the overall intensity with this activity, again, it continues to weaken there. So that's good. So right now, no current tornado warnings anywhere in Oklahoma. Again, Mike and Jesse, they're tracking back out towards the Elk City area. They're going to get some live damage pictures here for us. Let's go and kind of widen this out here. And again, they'll be out there fairly quickly. They're right now off of I-40 anyway, so it'll probably take them maybe 20 minutes at the most to get back out there. So we'll continue to check in with them on their way out there. And other than that, we're just kind of updating a few things here as well here in the forecast center. So just kind of bear with us here while we're doing that. And so again, the good news right now is no tornado warnings currently in effect for Oklahoma. Tornado watch does continue officially until 10 p.m. We've got really a few scattered supercells that continue. The overall intensity of those supercells continue to ease on down. You see Trey's video. He's still out there in the Thomas area. You see his live video there. It's still raining. And again, he reported actually no hail, which is good. As we've gone through the day today, we've had a lot going on. And we've done a really good job, or storm trackers, I should say, have done a really good job of covering every tornado warning in Oklahoma. Between Trey Smith, Mike, and Jesse, they did a tremendous job. Every tornado warning, we had it completely covered here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, doing a great job. It's a lot easier said than done, trust me. And they did a great job. So Mike and Jesse, they're heading back out to Elk City. They'll be out there probably within about 10 to maybe 20 minutes. We'll get some live damage pictures from them, whatever happens south of Elk City. But again, reports coming in right now. There's been some big time damage. There's had to be some rescues, some not good stuff, nothing else that we really can confirm right now. So they'll be out there fairly quickly. We'll have live video of that. And then again, for the Oklahoma City Metro right now, all quiet. Again, tornado watch still continues here to the west of the Oklahoma City Metro. Officially, that tornado watch there in effect until 10 p.m. this evening. And again, overall, we're generally just talking about severe storms now across portions of western Oklahoma. I was just looking at a new alert coming in. But basically what we've had is we've gone through the late afternoon and the evening. We had basically 2 supercells move out of the East Texas Panhandle into western Oklahoma. We've had baseball, tennis ball, grapefruit size hail, actual reports, not computer estimated, but actual reports of those from trained spotters. So again, we've had some, even by Oklahoma standards, extremely large hail that's happened today. And again, we've at least had one tornado that's kind of been a hopscotch tornado off and on. It was down here in Beckham County, and as it went really just south of the Elk City area, it was more on than off. And it could have been a medium-sized tornado, EF2, EF3 type tornado. And again, that's what Mike and Jesse are going back to right now, again, to look at some of that damage, again, before it gets too dark. So we'll have their video coming in here in just a second. And again, otherwise, at this time, again, we don't have any tornado warnings in Oklahoma. I think the general trend, at least, for any type of tornadic activity, it's going to be on the downward trend. Again, with that tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m., you can't rule anything out. But again, the overall trend here, I think, is going to be on the downward trend. Again, there'll be another opportunity for a line of storms, again, to come through overnight tonight. But the risk with that activity, again, it's primarily going to be wind and hail. In fact, what we can do here, we can actually show you future radar. Let's go and pull this up here, and we'll kind of roll you through time of future radar. And as we do that, this is kind of the general thinking, again, as we head basically on through the overnight period. And right now, we're just kind of buying a little bit of time. We're waiting on Mike and Jesse. As soon as they get out there to Elk City, again, we'll go and take their live videos. So stand by for that for sure. We're just kind of buying a little bit of time while things are kind of winding down here just a little bit. So on the left-hand side of your screen, this is going to be future radar. This is from our 4 p.m. show, so this is technically saying 6 p.m., but the general thinking here is the same. We're going to have the supercells ease on down, and then you'll see that line of storms basically form up, again, as we go through the overnight period. There's the supercells. Again, they're winding down 8, 9, 10 p.m. There's that secondary line by midnight. You see it right there, and that will rocket towards central Oklahoma. And again, the main risk with that activity there, again, it's going to be, again, damaging winds with any kind of line of storms, and then also that opportunity for some half-dollar, maybe some golf ball size hail, again, as it approaches central Oklahoma, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, possibly even by 4 o'clock in the morning, and then weakening as it gets over into portions of eastern Oklahoma. You see that's after 5 o'clock in the morning right there. So again, we've had a lot going on today. That is for sure. And again, right now, you know, the main thing is to keep our friends out there in western Oklahoma, out there south of the Elk City area. Definitely keep them in your thoughts and prayers, as again, there's been at least the reports we've had so far, again, some significant damage again out there south of Elk City. And again, that's where Mike and Jesse, you see their live video right there. That's where they're heading back to. And again, they're not far from there right now at all. So Mike, are you still on the live line with us at all? We may have lost them temporarily as they're heading back down there. So Trey, I think you're still on the live line with us here. We're looking at your video. You're still up there in the Thomas area. Again, you've been tracking these tornado warned storms as we've gone throughout the day as well. But kind of give us an update with that storm. Again, it's no longer tornado warned, but it's still severe up there in the Thomas area. Go and give us a live update on that storm.
Yeah, it's pretty much gone. I haven't even seen any lightning. We just had some rain, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much fizzling out up there. Again, as we're just kind of looking at some of the different products here. Yeah, I mean, even the hail core, and this was the same hail core that again produced the baseball, tennis ball, and grapefruit size hail. And keep in mind, grapefruit size hail, 4 inches in diameter. We get big hail in Oklahoma, but we probably go some years without actually having grapefruit size hail. And this was the same storm here that produced that. This is also the same storm that again produced the damage with the tornadic activity south of Elk City as well. So again, there's Mike and Jesse's live video. Again, they're tracking back towards Elk City, and again, they'll be on site, so to speak, coming up here again fairly quickly. So here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to take a quick break. And we've been on live since basically 4 o'clock. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll have another live update with Mike and Jesse out there in Elk City, and we'll get a damage update coming up here in just about 5 or 10 minutes. Keep it here with Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. We'll keep you up to date with the latest live weather information for Oklahoma.